Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap. Welcome to today's Marathon. But before we begin the session, just confirm if I'm audible to all of you or not. Just confirm with respect to the sound, the video. Is everything okay? Fine, so I'm going to wait for around 30 seconds. I will let the students join so that we can begin the session. So give me a thumbs up in the chat box if you are able to listen me clearly, loudly. Fine, so I think there is no problem with the audio and the video and everything is fine. So yes, so let us begin the session. So hello everyone, welcome to EduTap, welcome to today's Marathon with respect to NPS Grade A and Grade B examination, where we are going to solve multiple questions for various subjects as far as the exam relevancy is concerned. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to display a few questions on the screen, and what you have to do, you have to give the answer to these questions in the chat box, and I expect all of you to be as interactive as possible as a part of this session. So now let us move on to the first question. Let us see that what question do we have as far as the finance section is concerned. So firstly, we will start with the finance sections. After that, you will have questions from pension subject, and then I would say the management also, and later on with respect to economics. So one by one, we are going to cover different components regarding NPS Grade A and Grade B examination. Fine. So it is going to be a very fruitful session for you. So be with me till the end of this session. So now let us start. So here comes the first question, but before showing you the question, there is an important piece of information for you, that those of you who would like to download the PDF of this session, please join our Telegram channel, and over there you can join, you can download the PDF of this lecture. Fine. Now let us move on to the first question. The first question for today from finance section, which is, which of the following is not a limitation of the wholesale price index as an inflation measure? So which of the following is not a limitation of the wholesale price index as an inflation measure? Option A, it does not include services. Option B, it does not reflect the impact of inflation on consumers. Option C, it only considers the price of domestic goods and ignores imports. Option D, it excludes food and fuel prices from the calculation. And option E, it provides the measure of inflation at the wholesale level but fails to capture price movements at the retail level. So please read the question carefully. Please try to, I would say, focus on this keyword. It is asking which of the following is not a limitation of the WPI. So take your time. I'm giving you around 30 seconds. Try to answer this question. Let us see how many of you are able to answer it. Fine. So if we talk about the different limitations, we all know that if we compare CPI with WPI, one of the limitations of WPI is that WPI does not include services, because services are not consumed at the wholesale level, and that is the reason why WPI excludes it. So is it a limitation of WPI? The answer is yes. So this is not going to be the correct option, because the question is asking which is not a limitation. After that, it does not reflect the impact of inflation on consumers. So yes, if you talk about CPI, reflects the impact of inflation on consumers, but not the WPI. So again, it is what? It is a limitation of WPI. So this is not going to be the correct answer to this question. Then it only considers the price of the domestic goods and ignores imports. This is again a limitation of WPI. So again, you can say this would be a correct incorrect option. Then if you see the E option, it provides a measure of inflation at the wholesale level, but fails to capture price movements at the retail level. Of course, this is something that is a limitation of WPI, because CPI, it captures the price at the retail level. WPI captures the prices at the wholesale level. And that is the reason what is going to be the correct option. The correct option is going to be the D option. Why D option? Because D option says that it excludes food and fuel prices from the calculation. But if you talk about WPI, if you talk about the composition of WPI, you can see that it has manufactured products, it has fuel and power, and it has primary articles also. Under primary articles is also talks about some food components. So food and fuel are a part of it. It is not something that we have to WPI excludes food and fuel as a part of its different parameters. So that is why it is going to be the correct option, because the question is asking about the which is not a limitation among them. So I hope it is clear to you. So D is going to be the correct answer to this question. Now you can read the explanation later on in the PDF, and I hope it is clear to you. Moving on to question number 2. Which of the following statements is accurate concerning the difference between equity shares and preference shares? So please try to answer this question. Which of the following statements is accurate concerning the difference between equity shares and preference shares? So please answer it. Take your time, read the question carefully, and try to answer. So which of the following statements is accurately concerning the difference between equity shares and preference shares? Option number A, which is equity shareholders are guaranteed a fixed dividend, while preference shareholders receive dividends only when profits allow. Then the preference shareholders, they have a priority claim on dividends and asset over equity shareholders, but they do not have voting rights in the company. Then option C, equity shareholders have a fixed claim on the company's asset, while preference shares have a variable claim based on market performance. Then option D, preference shares are issued only to the company's stock executives, whereas equity shares are available to the public. Now the last option is preference shareholders are not entitled to a share in the company's residual profits, unlike equity shareholders. So please mark your options. I'm waiting for your answers. So yes, if we talk about the answer to this question, B is going to be the correct answer, because when we compare the equity shares and the preference shares, we know that equity shares, they guaranteed I would say they do not guarantee a fixed dividend, because when we talk about the equity shares, the dividend is dependent on the profit. Fine. Whereas if we talk about the preference shareholder, they receive dividends only when profit is low. This is an incorrect option. Basically, both the terms have been interchanged with respect to the equity shareholders and the preference shareholders. Now option B, yes, it is correct that equity shareholders, they have a priority claim on dividends and asset over equity shareholders, but they do not have voting rights in the company. This is the correct option. And if you see rest of the options over there, most of the terms have been interchanged. Equity shares have a fixed claim on company asset. This is not true. They do not have fixed claim. They have a variable claim. Whereas I would say preference shareholder, they have a fixed claim based on the market performance. Then the preference shares are issued only to the company stock executives. Again, this is incorrect. And preference shareholders are not entitled to a share in the company residual profits, unlike equity shareholder. This is also an incorrect mismatch option. Now let us move on to the next question. Question number 3. So B is going to be the answer to this question. Moving on to next one, question number 3. Identify the type of inflation when the general level of prices are falling. It is the opposite effect to inflation. So mark your answers. Identify the type of inflation when the general level of prices are falling. It is the opposite effect to inflation. So what is going to be the answer to this question? Option A, disinflation. Option B, deflation. Option C, skew inflation. Option D, stagflation. And option E, built-in inflation. So please mark your answers. What do you think is going to be the answer to this question? Take your time. Try to answer it. I'm going to give you around 25 seconds in order to mark your answer. Very easy question. Fine. So if you talk about this question, identify the type of inflation when the general level of prices are falling. Over here, you can easily see that if you talk about skew inflation, fine. If we talk about skew inflation, we know that regarding skew inflation, skew inflation occurs when inflation is there. The different rate of inflation is there in different type of sectors. Fine, when it is there in different type of sectors, that represents skewflation. If we talk about stagflation represents two things. Firstly, there is some kind of stagnation with respect to economic growth. So economic growth is stagnant. Apart from that, there is high rate of inflation, and that eventually leads to high rate of unemployment also. This is something that is represented with the help of stagflation. If we talk about built-in inflation, we know that built-in inflation shows some kind of relationship between the prices and the salary. Fine. So for example, let us say if the workers they are demanding their bosses that they want more wages, what is going to happen? Let us say their bosses, they increase their salary. But after that, what will happen? When the businessmen, when they will increase the salary of their workers, what is going to happen? The cost of production of those business companies is going to get increased. Now, in order to compensate that, in order to maintain that profitability margin, what they are going to do, they are ultimately going to again increase the prices of different commodities that are there in the market. And what it will lead to? It will again lead to inflation. And when the inflation will be there, this cycle is going to get repeated. These workers, they will again reach to their boss and or the managers, and they will ask them to increase their wages because the prices are high in the market. So that is the cycle that goes on as a part of this built-in inflation, and that is the reason why this type of inflation is also known as the wage price spiral. Fine. So that is the idea. Now, if you talk about this question, both these things, the term disinflation and the de-inflation, so we can see that over here, the correct option is going to be the B1. Because as far as the deflation is concerned, we know that deflation is something which is an opposite effect to inflation. Deflation can be negative also. But whereas if you talk about disinflation is something where the rate of inflation slows down. The inflation is still positive, but the rate of inflation slows down. The inflation is still happening. Whereas if you talk about this deflation is just opposite to the effect of inflation. So I hope it is clear to you. So the correct answer to this question is going to be the B option. Now let us move on to the next question, question number 4. So please answer this one. Which of the following terms refer to the practice of buying a currency when it is undervalued and selling it when it is overvalued in the forex market? So very easy questions, I would say straightforward question. Please try to answer it. So the option A is hedging, option B, currency speculation, option C, arbitrage, option D, pegging, and option E, devaluation. So mark your answers. So if we talk about hedging, we know that hedging involves reducing risk by offsetting potential losses from exchange rate fluctuations. Whereas if we talk about speculation, we know that speculation refers to the practice of buying a currency when it is undervalued and selling it when it becomes overvalued. So B is going to be the answer to this question. Very straightforward question, and I hope it is clear to you. Fine. Now let us move on to the next question, which is question number 5. So the question number 5 is, which of the following is an example of cross-currency pair in the forex market? Which of the following is an example of cross-currency pair in the foreign market? So option A, USD INR, option B, EUR GBP, option C, USD JPY, option D, AUD USD, and option E, Euro USD. So mark your answers. What is going to be the answer to this question? Take your time. So basically, what do we understand by cross-currency pair? Cross-currency pair means two currencies that do not include US dollar. the exchange between two currencies that does not include US dollar as a part of it. So if you see this option, easily you can eliminate option A, option C, option D and option E, because all these currencies, all these options, they include US dollar as a part of it. So the option that is left is option B. So B is going to be the answer to this question. Fine. And I hope it is clear to you. So you can read the explanation later on by pausing this video or maybe going through the PDF. So you can see a cross currency pair involves two currencies that does not include the US dollar as a part of it. So that is why option B is going to be the answer to that. Now the next question, what is the primary objective of a progressive tax system? What is the primary objective of progressive tax system? The first is to ensure that the tax burden is equal for all individuals regardless of the income levels. Then to tax individuals at higher rates as their economy or wealth increases, thereby reducing income inequality. Then to encourage higher income earners to invest more by reducing taxes on high income brackets. So basically, if you talk about progressive tax system, we have three types of tax system. Fine. If we categorize them, the first is progressive, the second is regressive, and the third is proportional. Fine. The aim of the progressive taxation system is to remove the inequality from a certain type of society, to remove the inequality. And how it is able to do that? It is able to do that by working in this manner that those people who are earning more, they have to pay more taxes, whereas those people who are earning less, whose income is less, they have to pay lesser taxes. And that is why what basically happens when the tax is collected from these people who are in the upper strata, this income is distributed in order to promote the welfareism of the bottom segments of the society. And that is how basically progressive taxation, it aims to promote equality by charging more tax from those who are earning high income. Fine. So that is the idea. So if you can see over here, the option B is going to be the correct option, because the aim is to tax individuals at higher tax rate as their income or wealth increases, thereby reducing income inequality in the society. So that is why B is going to be the correct answer. Now let us move forward. Let us move on to the next question. Question number 7. Question number 7 is, which of the following concept best describe the taxable base in a progressive income tax system? So what do you mean by progressive, what do you mean by the taxable base in a progressive income tax system? Fine. So the first option is the difference between total income and allowable deductions from an individual. Then the total income of an individual after considering different exemptions to the taxpayer. Now, yes, read the third option also. The total tax payable by the individual based on the taxable income, and after that, the total amount of tax withheld by the employer from the employee's salary. Yes. So mark your answers. Yes, most of you are giving the correct answers. Very good. You are giving the correct answers. I think this girl Preeti, she is a bit confused. Please try to reread this question. If it talks about the tax base बहुत ही simple language में क्या होता है, ज़्यादा समझने की जरूरत नहीं है. Tax base का मतलब होता है जिस चीज पर टैक्स लग रहा है. तो अगर आपकी सैलरी पे टैक्स लग रहा है, फाइन, whatever your salary is, whatever your final income is, जिस भी चीज पर टैक्स लग रहा है, that is called a tax base. Fine. So if you try to understand all these options, the second option, if you see the total income of an individual after considering, wait a second. Yes. So the total income of an individual after considering exemptions, deductions, and rebates applicable to the taxpayer. Fine. So this is the total income of that individual on which the tax is going to be applied, and this is nothing but this is the tax base. fine, with respect to that person, an individual or a company, whoever is paying the tax. So I hope it is clear to you. Very much simple and straightforward information. Rest of the option you can easily eliminate. It says that the difference between total income and allowable deduction, that is not the idea. Then the total tax payable by an individual based on the taxable income. Then the total amount of tax withheld by the employer from the employer's salary, that is not going to be the option. So B, once we deduct all this type of exemptions, after that then the tax base is decided. Fine, I would say this is the most relevant option as far as this question is concerned. Now let us move on to the question number 8. What is the fiscal deficit target set by the Indian government for the fiscal year 2025 to 26 as per Union Budget 25? So this is a current affair based question. Since fiscal policy, FRBM Act is a part of your syllabus, so that's why this question is relevant. So please try to mark your answers. ये बहुत ही factual question है. अगर आपने budget पढ़ा है तो you should know the answer. Yes, question number 8, mark your answers. Yes, very good, Gopal. And I would say Priti also very good. So the answer to this question is going to be the B option, 4.4%, because this is what that was announced by Finance Minister in the budget. And you can see I've pasted this screenshot also, so you can easily see in the Union Budget summary that the fiscal deficit target, it has been decided 4.4% as a part of our GDP. Fine. So that is the idea. I hope it is clear to you. इसमें ज़्यादा समझाने की ज़रूरत नहीं है. That because it is a straightforward question. Now the next question, question number 9. Which of the following refers to a financing arrangement where a company sells a receivable to a third party at a discount to raise immediate cash? So tell me the answer to this question. Which of the following refers to a financing arrangement where a company sells its receivables to a third party at a discount to raise immediate cash? Yes, very good. Gopal has given the correct answer. When Priti has given the correct answer, and Vijay has also given the correct answer. So yes, so the correct answer to this question is going to be the B option, which is basically the factoring. So what do you mean by factoring? Or factoring, let us say this is you, person X, and this is you, this is another person, person Y, and over there, what is there? There is a third party which is known as the factor, and this third party can be any kind of financial institution, or it can be a bank also. Fine. So what this factor is going to do, is going to buy your receivables, and on the basis of that, it is going to give you the financial arrangement that you are looking for. So that this whole mechanism, of course, a lot of other complexities are also involved to it with respect to the transaction, but this is, I would say, is the most simplistic explanation. You will sell your trade receivable to this person, to this factor, and in return, the financial arrangement will be made for you. Fine. So that is the idea regarding the factoring, and this is regarding question number 9. The correct answer is the B option. Now the question number 10. Which of the following outcomes can be directly attributed to the devaluation of a country's currency, assuming all other factors remain constant? So take your time, read this question and mark your answer. Which of the following outcomes can be directly attributed to the devaluation of a country's currency, assuming all other factors remain constant? So what is devaluation of a currency? Let us say $1. Let us say $1 is equal to 83 rupees. So now what will happen if the devaluation of a currency happens? The currency will lose its value. Fine. So basically the difference between devaluation and the depreciation is that depreciation happens because of the market forces, whereas devaluation is something that happens as a result of the intentional policy of the central bank of that nation. Fine. So it is decided by the central bank, and based on that the value of the currency fluctuates. Fine. So that is the difference between devaluation and the depreciation. So if you talk about devaluation, when the currency is losing its value, so let us say $1 is equal to 83. Now $1 is equal to what? It is rupees 85. Fine. So now what do you need? Now you need more rupees in order to purchase $1 as compared to the previous scenario. So what is going to happen? This whole scenario is considered as devaluation. Fine. Devaluation. Now what is going to be the impact of that? B, D, B, D. Two type of answers we are getting. So if we see your option number A, an immediate increase in the purchasing power of domestic consumers for imported goods. So let me see the D options. Those of you who are saying D options, okay, you think the option is 1, 2 and 3. Fine, take your time and mark your answers, those who have not answered yet. So if you talk about the first option, an immediate increase in the purchasing power, this is incorrect. Fine, because there will be decrease in the purchasing power. Why decrease in the purchasing power? Because earlier you were purchasing a certain type of good at rupees 83. Fine, for 83 you were able to purchase good worth rupees $1. But now you have to spend 85 rupees. So how can you expect the purchasing power to get increased? Fine, the purchasing power has gone decreased. So that is going to be the incorrect option. So if the first one is eliminated, we can easily eliminate the D option over here. Fine, because it includes the option number A. Then the option number B, it rise in the competitiveness of domestic industries in the international market. So yes, of course, as a result of devaluation, what is going to happen? Our exports are going to get increased. Why the exports are going to increase? Now think from the side of the foreign, I would say the foreign businessman's perspective. Fine. So if you talk about, let us say there is a foreign businessman, he was able to purchase a commodity of rupees 83 with $1 only. He had to, with $1 he was able to purchase 83 rupees worth commodity. Now what he can purchase with $1, he can purchase 85 rupees worth commodity. It means the commodities have become cheaper for him. Fine. So what he's going to do, he's going to purchase more and more goods and services from India in order to have maximum profit. So what is going to happen ultimately, as a result of this, the exports are going to become more competitive in the market, and the exporters are going to earn as a result of it. Then after that, an increase in the demand for domestic bonds by foreign investors. This is an incorrect option, because the domestic bonds for the foreign investors, they become unattractive as a result of devaluation. Then if you talk about an increase in the domestic inflation rate due to higher import costs, yes, this is true, because earlier you had to pay 83 rupees. Now imagine, let us say earlier what you were doing, let us say you were importing raw material in your country. You are importing raw material in your country. Fine. Now what is going to happen? Earlier you were able to purchase $1 worth raw material for 83 rupees. Fine. But now you are purchasing the same raw material for 85 rupees. So when the price of the raw material will be increased, don't you think the price of the finished products will also increase? The answer is yes. So the price of finished product is also going to get increased, and what it will lead to? It will lead to the inflation in the country. Fine, it will become one of the factors, one of the causes behind the inflation in that country, in that economy, and that is what this fourth option reflects. So yes, this is going to be the correct option, because an increase in the domestic inflation rate will be witnessed due to higher import cost. So 2 and 4, so the correct option is going to be the B option. Fine, so B is going to be the answer to this question. I hope it is clear to all of you. Now let us move on to the next question, question number 11. Identify the type of crowdfunding wherein the entrepreneurs pre-sell a product or service to launch a business concept without incurring debt or sacrificing equity or shares. This kind of funding is used when the project is a long gestation period research project. So what is going to be the answer? Very straightforward question, I would say. So the keyword is here. Entrepreneurs pre-sell a product and without incurring debt or sacrificing equity. Fine. So debt and equity can be easily eliminated. Now what is left? Research, gains and reward. Fine. So tell me, what is going to be the answer? Question number 11th. Debt and equity can be easily eliminated because it is saying that without incurring debt or sacrificing equity shares. So what is going to be the answer to this question? Question number 11. Fine. So the correct answer to this question is going to be the E option, which is reward crowdfunding. Fine, it is a reward crowdfunding. So in the reward crowdfunding, what basically happens in this crowdfunding, in this type of crowdfunding, the entrepreneur, they pre-sell a product in order to launch a business concept, and this kind of funding is used when the project is a long gestation period research project. Fine. So usually when a prototype is launched, such type of, I would say, crowdfunding method is approached to the people, and that's how the funds are collected as a part of it. Now let us move on to the question number 12, which is regarding the insider trading. So tell me about insider trading. Question number 12 regarding insider trading. Yes, Vijay, very good. You had given the correct answer. So this is about insider trading. The insider trading refers to the illegal practice of trading stocks or other securities by individuals who have access to non-public information about the company. Then the SEBI is responsible for regulating it, which is the second option, and it can penalize individuals and entities involved in it. Then the insider trading is only illegal if the individual trading the securities is an employee of the company whose shares are being traded. So tell your answers. What is going to be the answer to this question? Question number 12. Take your time, read it and answer it. Yes, very good, Delay and Gopal. What about others? Fine. So if you see these options, so firstly, it is stating the definition of insider trading, which is, I would say, absolutely correct, because insider trading refers to illegal practice by individuals who have access to non-public information regarding a certain company. Fine. If we move on to the second point, this is also correct. Yes, SEBI is the entity. It is a regulatory body that regulates insider trading. Fine. Now, the next point is that somebody is asking what is the difference between option A and option B. The difference is that here we are talking about definition, and here we are talking about the regulation. So is the SEBI regulator or not? This is something that you have to identify in option number B. If we talk about the option number C, insider trading is only illegal if the individual trading the security is an employee, which is an incorrect option, because it does not matter if you're an employee or not. If you are doing insider trading, it is illegal in India. So it does not matter if you are friend, or if you are a family, or any type of known who has any kind of non-public material information with respect to the company, the act is illegal and you will be penalized for that. Fine. So that is the idea, and the option 3 is going to be the incorrect one, and A is going to be the answer to this question. Fine. So very good. Those of you who have given the correct answer, and I hope Preeti, now the confusion is clear to you. I mean, you got the clarification regarding what is the difference between option A and option B. Fine. Now let us move on to the next question. Question number 13. Consider the following statements regarding the Finance Commission of India. Consider the following statements regarding Finance Commission of India. Very easy question, because I would say if you have read this topic up to a minimum level also, then also you will be able to answer this question. Fine, because this is, I would say, a topic that is very much straightforwardly mentioned as a part of your syllabus. So I'm assuming that you must have read it. So question number 13, mark your answers. Very easy question. So if we talk about Finance Commission of India, we all know that it is a constitutional body that is formed after 5 years. Fine. It is formed by after every 5 years, and it gives recommendations with respect to the allocation of taxes between the union government and the state government. Fine. And apart from that, it also advises the union government with respect to the grant in aids to the states. So that is, I would say, the primary function of the Finance Commission. Now, if you see the options, then Finance Commission is appointed by President after every 5 years. Yes, it is true. It is appointed by President after every 5 years. Now, option number 3, It has the power to determine the allocation of taxes between the different levels of government. The answer is correct. Fine. This is also the correct option, as I've already told you, the function of the Finance Commission. Now, if you talk about the second option, the Finance Commission recommendations are binding on the union government, but not on the state government. This is an incorrect option. Fine. The reasoning is that basically the Finance Commission recommendations are not binding either on the union government or on the state government. It is the recommendatory nature. It is the choice of the government that whether they want to follow these kind of recommendation or not. Fine. So that is the idea. I hope it is clear to you. So basically 1 and 3 are going to be the correct answers. So yes, B is going to be the answer to this question. Fine. So now let us move on to the next one. Nile, you are asking about which question? This one. Okay, sorry. This is a mistake from my side. Basically, both these options got repeated, 1 and 2 and 1 and 2. Fine. So either you are giving A option or B option, both are correct. Fine. This is a mistake from my side. I'm sorry about that. Fine. So you are correct, Preeti. So there is no difference. Basically A and B are the same options. Fine. So I was supposed to write 1, 2, and 3 over here, but I skipped it. Fine. So now let us move on to the next one. So the question number, I think 13, yes, we know the 13th answer, which is the B option. Now the question number 14. Which of the following does not come under the financial services for financial inclusion? So saving account, subsidies, microcredit, insurance, or financial advice. Very easy question. That does not come under financial services. Please focus on the keyword. Does not come under financial services. And this question has also been asked in RBI Grade B Phase 2. So just for the comparative analysis regarding the difficulty of the topic, so we are at these questions also from the different exams so that it gives you a better idea. Fine. So please try to mark your answers. Saving account, subsidies, microcredit, insurance, or financial advice. What is going to be the answer? Financial services under financial inclusion. Tell me. See, when we talk about financial inclusion, first of all, you need to know what is financial inclusion. Financial inclusion basically means providing financial services, different type of financial services to the underbanked and marginalized sections of the society. Fine, of the country. So that's what the aim of the financial inclusion is. So what type of financial services? For example, banking services. It can be related to insurance services. It can be related to pension services. So these are the type of services. If we talk about subsidies, is subsidy a type of service that is provided under the aim of financial inclusion? The answer is no. Subsidy is a type of aid. It is a type of aid that is provided by the government so that the welfare of the different communities can be promoted. But that is not the primary objective of the financial inclusion. The financial inclusion objective is to provide different financial services to the underbanked sections of the society or the marginalized section of the society. So subsidy is not something like that. Subsidy तो ऐसी चीज है जो गवर्नमेंट इसलिए दे रही है क्योंकि लोगों के पास फैसिलिटीज नहीं है. बट ये जो सेविंग अकाउंट है, माइक्रो क्रेडिट है, इंश्योरेंस, फाइनेंशियल एडवाइस, all these components are something the financial services that are provided under the aim of financial inclusion. Fine, so that we can promote more and more banking and we can promote access to the different kind of multiple financial services all across the nation. Fine, especially in the rural areas. So subsidies is going to be the answer because it does not come under financial services. So B is going to be the answer to this question. So you can see different type of financial inclusion services that is regarding saving product, the credit facility, entrepreneurial credit, then the loans and insurance, mortgage, financial advice, and payment and remittances. Subsidies are not a part of it. They are just a type of aid. Fine, they are just a type of aid that is provided by the government to the specific sections of the society. I hope it is now clear to you. Now let us move on to the next question, question number 14, which is regarding the Basel Committee. So the Basel Committee has introduced the Basel norms, which are known as Basel Accord. These Basel norms are called Basel 1, 2, 3. As per Basel 1 norms, the minimum capital ratio should be 8%. India RBI recommends it to be what percent? So question number 14. Yes, Gopal, very good. Gopal had given the correct answer. Nile had also given the correct answer. Very good. So tell me about question number 14. So yes, very good, Gopal. So as Gopal is saying, we'll go with Gopal. Gopal is saying that the answer is 9%. So yes, the answer is 9%. 8% is something that is recommended by the Basel, but the 9% is something that India follows, fine, as recommended by the RBI to the different banks that are there in our country, which is regarding the minimum capital ratio that they need to have, fine. So that is the idea, straightforward information है, ज़्यादा डिटेल में इसलिए जा रहा मैं इस क्वेश्चन में. आगे चलते हैं, क्वेश्चन नंबर 15 को देखते हैं. Fine. Under FRBM Act, government can borrow from RBI through which of the following sources? Tell me. Bonds, long-term loans, ways and mean advances, securitization, or none of the above? So tell me regarding question number 14. Sorry, question number 15. Fine. So the option number A is bonds, B is long-term loans, C is ways and mean advances, D is securitization. Yes, as Chetan, Gopal, everybody is giving the correct answer. Yes, so C is going to be the answer to this question. So Nilay is saying D. No, Nilay, it is not D, it is C. Ways and mean advances. What are ways and mean advances? Basically, when there is temporary mismatch in the receipts and the payments of the government. So ways and mean advances is a type of temporary facility which is provided in the form of loan by the RBI to the central and the state government. Fine. Now there are other details also associated with it regarding the limitation, regarding the type of ways and mean advances, which is I would say normal ways and mean advances and the special ways and mean advances. Different type of details are associated with it. We don't have to enter all these details at this point of time as a part of this session, but this is all about ways and mean advances. So it is type of temporary loan facility. So under FRBM, the government can borrow from RBI through this kind of mechanism. So that is why I would say C is going to be the answer to this question. Now let us move on to the next one, question number 16. GST-IN is allocated based on dash. So this question was asked in SEBI Phase 1 2020. So you can see such type of easy questions are also asked. Not all questions are difficult in the examination. So please try to answer it. Yes, very good, Chetan. Special and normal. GST-IN is based on what? So either you know the answer or you don't know the answer, because यहाँ पर आप कुछ और नहीं कर सकते. और बहुत easy है. GST-IN is something that is related to tax, और tax से related इनमें से कौन सा सबसे ज़्यादा relevant है? Tell me. Yes, very good, Gopal. Yes, PAN is going to be the answer. The PAN card. Fine, it is allotted based on the PAN. So if I break down the structure for you, GST-IN is a unique 15-digit identifier that is assigned to each taxpayer registered under the GST system in India. And this is the format of GST-IN. Later on, you can just go through this format, that what all does it include, because this question was asked in SEBI also. So it would be a good idea if you know some kind of, I would say, have factual information regarding it. Fine. So that if the question is asked related to it, you are in a position to answer it. So GST-IN, which is GST identification number. Now let us move on to the next question. Which of the following factors would typically increase the yield on a bond? Which of the following factors would typically increase the yield on a bond? The first is regarding market interest rate, then the increase in the issuer's credit risk, then a rise in inflation expectations. So tell me, for the question number 17. Now, if you read the option number 1, a decrease in the market's interest rate relative to bonds coupon rate. Now, we all know that when the market interest rate decreases, what does it lead to? It leads to decrease in the yield of the bond. Fine. So the yield decreases when the market interest rate also decreases. The second is an increase in the issuer's credit risk. So with respect to the increase in the issuer credit risk due to worsening economic financial condition, what is going to happen? Because of this, basically, the bond is going to become unattractive. Fine, because due to worsening financial conditions. So yet it is going to increase the yield on a bond. Then the option number 3, a rise in the inflation expectation which erodes the purchasing power. So yes, this is also another scenario which is going to increase the yield of the bond, because the purchasing power of the bond coupon payments, it basically get decreased, it get reduces. Fine. So what is going to be the option 2 and 3, and I would say C is going to be the answer to this question, because both these scenarios are going to increase the yield. Fine. So I've given you the explanation also, whereas the first option, with the decrease in the market interest rate, the yield also decreases. So C is going to be the answer to this question. Now let us move on to the question number 18. 19. Which type of tax is handled by CBDT? So this question was asked in SEBI Phase 1 2020. Yes, very good, Chetan. Higher the risk, higher the expectation of the bondholder. Yes, very good. So the question number 19, which type of tax is handled by CBDT? Very good. Yes. Question number 19A, yes, CBDT handles direct tax. And if I ask you an extra question, which body basically handles the indirect tax? So what is going to be the answer for the indirect tax? Will the answer remain the same? So it will be CBIC then. For this, it will be CBIC, Central Board of Indirect Taxes and Customs. So this is going to be the answer with respect to that. If the question changes, if it is regarding the indirect tax, fine. For the direct tax, we have CBDT. Now the last question for today's discussion regarding the finance. So very easy question, just to boost your confidence. So GST is applicable to dash. GST is applicable to dash. Yes, we all know that GST is single indirect tax law for the entire country. Fine. For the entire country, and that is why very easy. What is going to be the answer? Yes. What is going to be the answer? Yes. A is going to be the answer to this question. And I hope it is clear to you. This was the easiest question out of all these questions. The last question from my end. And after this, what we have the management questions. And now the session will be continued by Jalat sir. Fine. So sir, please continue.
Right. Hello everybody. I hope Jaskaran sir would have done the justice with finance. Now I will be starting your finance component. So if you want to take the break off, I would say 2 minutes. It's completely okay. Let's start with finance if you all are okay. So please let me know in the chat box if you all are willing to start now, or should I wait for 2 minutes? And higher your participation, the better it is. Please let me know in the chat box. Please let me know, should I start or should I wait? Whatsoever you will say, we will do it. Right. So let's start with the first question, because maximum students are saying start. So let's start. So first question on your screen right now is based on motivation. Now in your management, there are basic chapters including motivation, leadership, communication, journal management. So let's start with the first question of management. Which of the following statement is incorrect? Remember, you have to identify the incorrect statement related to Clayton-Alderfer theory. Okay, related to Clayton-Alderfer theory. So try to identify the incorrect statement as per Clayton-Alderfer. Statement number 1 is quite confusing, so please pay your close attention to it. Then only answer your question number 1. Alderfer motivation theory suggests that individual can attempt to satisfy more than one need at the same time. Yes, this statement is correct, because as per Clayton-Alderfer, you can operate on multiple needs. And I hope you know that Clayton-Alderfer has given you 3 needs, E, R, G. existence, relatedness, and growth. Existence is nothing, it is just for your basic survival. You can say level 1 and level 2 of Maslow. Relatedness is just about your, love and belongingness from your team members. So this is your level 3 of Maslow, and growth needs combine level 4 plus level 5 of Maslow. Level 4 of Maslow is what? Self-esteem, and level 5 of Maslow is self-actualization. So if you know the comparison between, I would say, Clayton and Eldefer, then you can definitely answer this. Satisfaction progression is related to Maslow theory and not to Eldefer. Yes, this statement is also correct. Why? Because Maslow gave you the concept of satisfaction progression, but Clayton gave you the concept of frustrated regression. Therefore, statement B is also correct. Eldefer clubbed 5 needs of Maslow into 3. This is also correct. Like Maslow, Eldefer too suggested that lower order needs have to be satisfied before moving to the higher order needs. This statement is incorrect, my friends, because as per Eldefer, there is no strict hierarchy. In Maslow, if you know, my friends, in Maslow, you move from level 1 to level 2, level 2, then level 3 to level 4, and level 5. So there is a strict hierarchy in Maslow. But in your Eldefer, there is no strict hierarchy. You generally start from existing, then you move ahead. Then you move ahead to growth. So there is no strict hierarchy. Hierarchy as in like, I do not have to move from level 1 to level 2. We can move from level 1 to level 3 as well as per Eldefer. So if you see, incorrect statement over here is option number D. Let's move forward now. The correct answer is D, and once you get the PDF, you can read the explanation as well. Now, if I ask you one counter question on this, let me see how many of you are able to remember it. Can you let me know how many levels were added in the extended Maslow theory? How many levels were added in the extended Maslow theory? How many levels were added in the Maslow theory? Somebody is asking the meaning of frustrated regression. Frustrated regression again basically tells you what? That if you are operating on level 3 of Eldefer, you can shift down to level 2 or level 1 also, because there is no strict hierarchy. Simple. Yes. In extended Maslow, in total, there are 5 plus 3. 3 more levels were added later on, which is your, I would say, 3 is added. Yes. Total 8s are there. Yes, you have your cognitive needs, you have your aesthetic needs, and you also have your transcendence need, which were added to the extended Maslow theory. Now let's move to the next question, which is your question number 2. As per David McClelland theory of needs, David McClelland has given you 3 type of needs. And yes, the previous question which we solved, this is your, I would say, phase 2 level question. This is your phase 2. Okay. Because in phase 2, you can get some moderate to some tough questions as well. But this question which you are seeing on your screen right now is a phase 1 level question. Your phase 1 and phase 2 are happening on the same day, right? I'm going through the regression phase. I hope you will reverse that and go up in the satisfaction progression phase. Let's move forward to question number 2. As per McClelland theory of needs, which of the needs talks regarding need of spending their people's time while socializing and maintaining relationship with others? So please let me know this. The answer is quite simple. In phase 1, you would roughly get around 2 to 4 questions of management or 2 to 3 questions of management. So if you get easy questions, then definitely try to score as much as you can. Need of achievement is basically trying to excel in every task which you do. Need of appreciation is the correct answer of this particular question, because option number B, which is need of appreciation, talks regarding love and belongingness, teamwork. You should be accepted by your fellow beings. Need of power is basically your need of influence. You need to be a kind of an autocratic person to have need of power. Need of necessity is not given by David McClelland. Therefore, the correct answer over here will be option number B. My counter question to all of you, because the more counter question I ask, the better it is, because this is a marathon session, right? Tell me, if a person is a need of achievement person, a person in this particular case is need of achievement, he is driven by the need of achievement. Tell me, will he work on high risk, moderate risk, or on low risk situation? This is your phase 2 level question now. A person, let's say Ram is there, who is driven by need of achievement. On which particular risk level he will try to work? On which particular risk level he will try to operate? High risk, moderate risk, or low risk? What will be your answer? If you want HR basically is high risk, moderate risk, and low risk. So what will be your answer over here? Please choose your answer. If you don't know the answer, then definitely you have to revise a bit now. Yes, the correct answer is moderate level of risk, because in your moderate level of risk, the rewards and the losses are quite controlled. The rewards and the losses are quite controlled. But if you see high risk, if you fail in high risk project, you will bear high losses also. In low risk, you will have low profits. So therefore, a person who is driven by need of achievement, they try to work in the middle of the situation, avoiding the extremes. Now, let's move ahead to question number 3. Question number 3. I can see only Gopal, Nandini, Lakshmi are giving the answers, but Gopal and Nandini has given the wrong answers. Not an issue, at least you have attempted. Lakshmi has given the right answer, so very good, Lakshmi. Now, we are again doing a phase 2 level question, okay? So this is again phase 2. Try to answer this question. Question is quite straightforward. Try to answer it. Consider the following statement and choose the incorrect one. Now, you know this question is based on Victor Vroom expectancy theory. In Victor Vroom expectancy theory, you have 3 major components, which are your expectancy, your instrumentality, and your valency. Now, try to answer. Question number 1 says, effort performance relationship is known as instrumentality according to Vroom theory. Performance reward relationship is also known as valency according to Vroom theory. The value of valency to be used in the motivation formula varies from 0 to 1. So which of the following is incorrect one? You have to identify the incorrect one. So yani galat statement you have to identify. 1 and 2 is incorrect. Gopal is saying, what about others? See, if you don't participate, then definitely you are wasting your time. So please participate. Options are given in front of you, and I am saying that this is phase 2 level question. Now, expectancy links your efforts to performance. Instrumentality links your performance to outcomes. Valency basically doesn't links anything, but it tells you that how you value your rewards. How you value your rewards. Now, effort to performance. Effort to performance is known as instrumentality? No. Effort to performance is known as your expectancy. Expectancy basically is that particular component which tells you that if I do these many efforts, will I get the performance or not? So this, my friend, is your expectancy, which is incorrect as per statement number 1. Performance reward relationship is also known as valency. No. Why? Because we already know performance to reward is basically known as your instrumentality. Okay. And the value of valency to be used in motivation formula varies from -1 to 0 and to +1. These are the 3 values which the valency can have. -1 basically means that you are kind of ignoring that particular outcome, like the failures in the exam. We generally ignore those failures. 0 is basically your neutral. You are not sure that whether you want to get it, or you are not sure whether you want to get it or you want to avoid it. And plus basically means that I want to get it. So if you see over here, all the 3 statements are incorrect. All the 3 statements are incorrect. Therefore, your correct answer will be option number D. Let me see the chat box. How many of you have given the right answer? Nobody. So again, as I told to you, this is a phase 2 level question, and in phase 2, only those people whose concepts are clear, only they will be able to answer the correct. But if you have any doubt, please post that doubt in the chat box. We will definitely try to address it. Now let's move forward to the next question, question number 4. Now this is a phase 1 level question which is coming right now on the screen. Your phase 1 level question is now coming on your screen. Chalo. Which of the following is not the step in journal communication model? Which of the following is not the step in journal communication model? Which of the following, correct? Which of the following is not the step in journal communication model? Please answer this question. Which of the following is not the step in journal communication model? So you all know that journal communication model basically has multiple steps, but there are two parties, your sender and the receiver. Okay. Now tell me which of the following. Now this is a phase 1 level question. If you go wrong in this question, then definitely it's heartbreaking. Question number 4. Which of the following is not the step? Sender definitely is the party, so he will be sending the message. Encoding is basically converting the message into some special symbols or in some special encryptions. Message is basically the idea of message. Recording is not the part. Decoding, yes, it is the part. Decoding basically means to convert the spatial message into readable language. So the correct answer over here will be option number D. And I am again saying this is a phase 1 level question. Tell me which particular party does the decoding part, sender or receiver? Which particular party conducts the decoding process, sender or receiver? Which particular party conducts the decoding process, sender or receiver? Yes, you all are correct. The receiver does the decoding part because sender is doing the encoding part. Simple process. Okay. And this, my friend, is the entire process. Now tell me if in this particular process there is some disruption which is happening. Some disruption as in like, you know, right? Mobile networks are not proper. My phone receiver is not going good. So tell me if this particular component is happening. In management, it is known as what? If the communication process is disrupted, this process is known as what? Like this disruption is known as what? Basically, I'm asking you the meaning of this disruption. What will be this disruption known as? If you don't know the answer, yes, very good, Lakshmi again. What about others? Others, please answer it as noise. Noise basically is your disruptions which is taking place in the communication process. Yes, very good, Gopal as well. Now, let's move forward to the next question, question number 5. When two people involved in a, yes, very good, Preeti. Preeti, barrier is different, noise is different. Barrier, you can just say that barrier is a kind of a noise only. Okay? Barrier is a kind of a noise only. Please let me know your answers in the chat box. Please let me know your answers in the chat box. Question number 5. When two people are involved in a communication, we call it as a circuit communication. Identify the circuit communication which most decentralized and the most flexible. See, wheel communication is like you will have a person in the center and you will be communicating with the help of that person. Star communication is like most flexible because all the people will be connected in star. Okay, then you have Y, or rather I will show you the image as well. But first tell me the answer of this question. Most flexible is your star only. Star is basically kind of that particular network in which everybody is connected to all the people. So communication is the most flexible form because you can communicate with any Tom, Dick and Harry who is sitting in the company. Plus, you can also see that speed of communication is generally higher in this particular form, which is star communication. Now, if you see this particular image, my friends, see, wheel is very basic. Wheel is like one centralmost person will be there and everybody will be communicating with this person. Star, basically I call this as a fish market because everybody is talking to everybody. You cannot even locate the source of your message. Then comes your circle. In circle, remember the word adjoining. Adjoining as in that I can talk to my left and I can talk to my right. So there is a kind of a circle which is happening. Okay, and then you have chain. Chain is basically kind of straight. Then you have Y. In Y, two different subordinates can communicate to multiple, I would say, what, superior, but two subordinates will pass their message to superior A, then message will happen in the chain format. And in your inverted V, two superiors can talk to boss number 1 and they can also talk to boss number 2. So this is how communication networks are formed. Let's move to the next question, which is your question number 6. Question number 6. Question number 6. Question number 6. When messages or information is exchanged or communicated without using any spoken or written word, it is known as non-verbal communication. In the same regard, identify the type of a non-verbal communication where communication takes place via touch of hand. Touch of hand basically is your haptics. Touch of hand is basically your haptics. Okay, haptics, which is not present, therefore your answer will be option number E. Paralinguistic vocalic, and these are also known as prosodics. Prosodics basically means that you are changing the tone of your language. Like if I just scream right now, you will have a kind of a message that I am focusing on some keywords, right? So if you see, paralinguistic vocalic are basically known as prosodics. Oculus is an artifact. Oculus basically means that you are communicating with your eyes. You know, some people communicate with this blink of the eye, right? And then you also have artifacts. Artifacts is basically communication done with the help of objects. Objects as in, like if I show you the sword of great leader, that sword will also talk to you, right? So this is known as object. In management, there are multiple terms which you have to remember. Haptics basically is the touch of hand. It is the touch of hand. Like some people, you know, they put their hand on your shoulders to give you a good feeling. Pat on the back. Okay. There is one more word which I would like to test over here is communication with the help of body language. Communication with the help of body language is known as what? Now, this is a phase 2 level question. This question is a phase 2 level, which I am asking right now. Communication done with the help of a body language is known as what? Communication with the help of a body language is known as what? The answer starts with K. The answer starts with K. Please let me know the answers, then only I will move ahead. Come on, Mahendra, Gopal, Lakshmi, Nandini, please answer this question. Communication done with the entire body language is known as kinesics. Kinesics, okay? And communication just done with one particular body part as in like hand, legs, then it is known as gestures. Okay, so if only one body part is involved, then it's gesture, and if entire body is involved, then it is known as kinesics. Okay, and I'm very sorry for my bad handwriting, but usually we teach on the live classes in short screen, right? And this is very big for me. Postures, Parul is saying kinesics, very good. Gopal is saying kinesics. Nandini is saying haptics. Yes, answer is haptics, but the correct answer for this was kinesics. Sorry. Let's move ahead to the next one, I hope. Just give me a second. Yes, now I think it's sorted. Chaliye. Let's move forward to question number 7. Question number 7 on your screen. Yes, very good, Mahendra as well. As per Blake and Mountain grid, the country club manager has following characteristics. Now, Blake and Mountain has given you 5 plus 2, because initially there were 5 management style, but later 2 were also added. So in total 7 are there. But if somebody asks you how many leadership styles have been given by Blake and Mountain, then your answer should be 5 only. But if they ask you how many leadership styles have been given as per updated Blake and Mountain, then your answer should be 7. Okay. Now, Blake and Mountain has given you country club manager has which of the following characteristics? Country club is basically that particular person who is people oriented. Who is people oriented. For this particular person, only relationships matter. Task does not matter. So try to identify the right answer. Gopal is saying B is the right answer. Yes, indeed B is the right answer because he has the high concern towards people than on task. But if you know country club, or I would say if you know the Blake and Mountain, always try to have a graph. On y-axis and on your x-axis you have to take something. On X you should take task orientation, and on your Y you should take people orientation. Okay, if you have to plot country club manager, the score of country club manager is 9,1. Sorry, 1,9 I would say, because over here x-axis score is written first. So you have country club over here 1,9. Then you have task oriented person over here who has the score of 9,1. Then you have a person of 1,1 as well who is known as Improvised. Improvised basically means what? That he doesn't know anything. Then you have somebody who is in the middle of the road. Can you tell me the name of that particular person who will have the score of 9,9? Can you name that particular person or that particular manager who has high score on people orientation also and on task orientation also? Please name that particular manager who has high score on people as well as on task. If your answer is team manager, if your answer is team manager, then you are correct. Good. Chaliye. Now let's move forward to question number. This is what Blake and Mountain looks like. Improvise 1,1, country club 1,9, middle of the road, team management, and 9,1 for task management. Chaliye. Now let's move to question number 8. Now this is again a kind of a phase 2 level question. Try to listen to the question and then only answer it. Phase 2 level question on your screen right now. Mr. Sambi is a very screwed employee. He always tries to put his or her work on others. He is not willing to put any effort to learn these tasks that are supposed to be done by him. He is also very weak in learning ability, having scored only 45% of the marks in training given by the company. What should be the leadership style used to tackle Mr. Shambi, not Shambo, Mr. Shambi, as per situational leadership theory, or as per, you can just write any leadership theory, because every leadership theory is based on telling, participating, delegating, transformational. But still, if you want to answer as per situational, the answer won't change. Okay, chaliye, try to answer the question of 8. What will be the right answer for question number 8? Yes, if you see, situational leadership theory basically tells you that you have to change your leadership styles based on situation to situation. These theories are also known as your contingency theory of leadership. Okay. Now, if the employee is very kind of that particular person who is illiterate because he has only scored 45% of the marks, he is always trying to put his effort to the other person. Basically, this particular person is kind of a very bad, and for bad employees you always have to use autocratic style, which is telling. So your answer will be option number A. And I hope you remember Kurt Lewin leadership styles: autocratic, democratic, and your delegative. Can you tell me the synonyms of democratic leadership? Can you tell me the synonyms of democratic? Transformational we couldn't use, my friend, because in transformational you need an employee who is willing to learn. So we cannot use transformational. He is also very weak in learning abilities. It is clearly given, right? So you cannot use transformational, I would say what? Leadership in such cases. The correct answer will be telling. Telling basically is a kind of an autocratic stuff. Now my question was related to democratic. Democratic is also known as your consultative, your participative, and your shared leadership style. Okay, moving forward to question number 9. Chaliye, question number 9. Again, a phase 2 level question. Let's see how many of you are able to answer this. Burger King is one of the first truly iconic brands. Burger King did not come up with the fast food. Burger King did not become the fast food behemoth as it is today without defined form of leadership driving it forward. At the core of its operating strategy, Burger King focuses on being an industry leader with continuous developing global presence through its franchising program. Through its efficiency, calculability, standardized predictability, overall control, Burger King has consolidated its own standardized process that permeates down to each restaurant location, and a mantra will surely be continued forward. Identify the leadership style opted by Burger King. See, in such questions, if you are not able to get the direct answer, it's better to use elimination method. See, servant cannot be your answer. So option B will be eliminated, because in servant leadership style, you are contributing to society. You are basically a servant of your entire company. So you turn the pyramid upside down, this leadership was given by Robert Greenleaf. Paternalistic cannot be your answer, because under paternalistic also you have a father figure in your company. Like EduTap has the ideology of paternalistic leadership, because the founders are basically like a fathers of this particular organization. Delegative basically means what? That you give the entire control to your group members. So your option D, C, and B are obviously eliminated. Where is my PPT? Yes, here it is. So your option D, C, and B are obviously eliminated. Now check for bureaucratic. Now in bureaucratic, definitely standards are made. Standards are made. And it is clearly written over here that Burger King has a standardized process, standardized predictability. Therefore, your answer will be option number A. Although some features of bureaucratic leadership are not mentioned over here, but still, if you see other options, servant obviously eliminated, paternalistic delegated, all of them are eliminated, and E does not make any sense. So you are left with option number A only. So your answer will be option number A. Can somebody tell me who has given the concept of bureaucratic leadership? Can somebody tell me who has given the concept of bureaucratic leadership? Name that particular person who introduced the concept of bureaucratic leadership. If your answer is Max Weber, then definitely you are correct. Chaliye, now let's move forward to question number 10. Again, a phase 2 level question. Try to answer this question with all of your senses. Question says which level of management will include below functions. Now we all know that in management there are 3 levels. You have your management structure going like this. Level 1 is basically your top level. Level 2 is basically your middle level. Middle level is basically your departmental heads, which are also known as functional level of management. Level 3 is your supervisory level, which is basically the lowest level of management. Now try to answer this question on this particular information which the question has feeded to you. Now, if any person is designing, implementing effective group and intergroup work and information system, define and monitor group level performance, diagnose and resolve problem within the among groups, design and implement reward system that supports cooperative behavior, they may also make decisions and share the ideas with top managers. So definitely it will not be level number 1. Now level number 3, share the ideas with middle level. So therefore middle level भी नहीं होगा. Lower level भी नहीं होगा. Because lower level manager shares the idea with the middle level. Middle level shares the ideas with the top level. So answer will be over here, middle level managers, which is your option number B. Correct? All of you. Why C? C is not the correct answer, right? Because higher level managers focus on the policy work. They focus on the strategic planning, which is not mentioned anything over here. And how will the higher level share with top managers? Higher level के ऊपर तो organization ही बंद होगी, right? So answer will be option number B. Let me check also. Yes, the B is the correct one. Let's move forward to the next question, question number 11. Now we are moving to staffing. Staffing is also one of the major function of management. And if somebody asks you the 5 functions of management: planning, organizing, staffing, directing, and controlling. Directing has 4 very important components: motivation, communication, supervision, and leadership. Do remember all of these stuff because they are the basics of management. Question number 11. Now we are asking you regarding staffing. Staffing is basically the function which is related to the HR, human resource. Okay. Now in staffing, there are 2 ways to do staffing. First is recruitment and the second one is selection. Recruitment is considered as positive, selection is considered as negative. In recruitment, everybody who is eligible to the job can apply. Therefore, you just keep on collecting. You don't neglect any other person. But in selection, you move ahead and you remove something, like you only select those people who are like best. Currently, like your NPS exam is happening. Currently, it is in the recruitment stage. But once phase 1 and phase 2 will be conducted, once your phase 1 and phase 2 are over, then selection will only happen. So selection is a negative state. Why? Because you remove people who are unfit for the job. Recruitment is positive because you just keep on inviting the applications. You don't remove anyone. So selection is a negative process. Therefore, your correct answer will again be option number B. Okay. Now let's move forward to the next question, question number 12. Question number 12 on your screen now. Question number 12. Now the question is regarding which of the following is not the component of directing. This we have already discussed, right? Supervision basically means to keep an eye on the employee. So it is a component of directing. Communication basically means to communicate your messages. Leadership basically means to guide one particular group towards the organizational goal. Motivation basically means to direct somebody towards their accomplishment of Goals. Motivation is singular, like you talk about one person only. Leadership is kind of team based. The correct answer will be ethics, because ethics is not the part of your directing. And do remember, directing is also known as the executive function. Executive directing is also known as the heartbeat of management. Directing is also known as the heart of management. Life spark, इसे life spark भी बोलते हैं. Life spark of management. All are very very important terms in the field of management. Chalo. Question number 13. I am very surprised that nobody is asking any kind of doubt. If you don't have any doubts, it's a cause of worry. Or if you have any doubts, then please post it. बताइए, what will be the correct answer of 13? Question number 13. In the following statements, select the right code. In line and staff, line managers have total authority. Line managers have total authority over those who report to them directly. In line and staff, staff executives are the doers. In line and staff, staff workers have primarily advisory authority. So what will be your correct answer? In line and staff, if you know, line people are vertical. If you know, line people are vertical and staff people are horizontal. So line managers have the total authority to those who directly report to them. Yes, the statement is correct, because in line I will appoint the people, right? In line, staff executives are the doers. No, 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 no. Staff executives are the people who are thinkers. Line managers are those people who are doers. So this is basically the doers line, and this is basically the thinkers line, because they generally advise. The actual work is done by the people who are working on the line, and this is also sometimes known as shaft. Okay. In line and staff workers have primarily the advisory authority. Yes, advisory basically is like just again thinking kind of stuff. So now you have to identify the right code. Statement B is incorrect, A is correct, C is also correct. So your correct option will be option number A. How many of you have got your answer? Again, this is the phase 2 level question. The correct answer is option number A. Let me see the chat box as well. Responses ही नहीं है, तो क्या ही होगा. चलिए, question number 14. Question number 14. Again a phase 2 level question. In management, accountability flows upward, responsibility flows downward, authority flows downward. Try to identify the right code. Right code mein you have to identify the correct one. Now, if you know, in management there is one particular term, delegation. In delegation there are three components: authority, responsibility, and accountability. Authority basically is your power, responsibility is basically your duty, accountability is basically your, I would say, answerability. For example, if I'm not able to take this workshop correct, then I have the accountability to explain that what went wrong. Okay. Now, if you see, authority always flows downward. Authority always flows downward, because if Anchit sir is above in my authority, he will share the authority to me, right? So authority always move from the superior to the subordinate. And if you remember the authorities flows, just do the vice versa for responsibility and accountability. Responsibility and accountability moves forward, moves upward, I mean, because I am responsible to Anchit sir, right? I am accountable to Anchit sir because he is my senior. Now, if you know this particular concept, then you can answer this question. Accountability flows upward. Yes, statement A is correct. Responsibility flows downward. Horribly incorrect, because responsibility moves upward. Authority flows downward. Yes, authority flows downward. So all you need to remember is, just remember like this: authority moves downward. And if authority is moving downward, responsibility and accountability will moves upward. So your answer over here will be option A and C are correct. So your correct answer will be option number E. Option number E. A and B are correct. No, my friend, A and B were not correct. Gopal is saying E. Parul is going with D. No. A and B are not correct. Let me check also. ये भी तो सकता है I am wrong, but I am correct over here because option E is the correct one. And we also discussed E1, right? We also gave our answer as E because A and C are correct, not B. चलिए, now let's move forward to 15. 15, question number 15. Now this can be a phase 1 and phase 2 question because this is directly based on concept. Identify an emerging concept where some group of employees that meets regularly to solve problems affecting its work area. This group carries on continuously as a part of organizational-wide controls, activities, self-development and mutual development, and control and improvement with workplace utilizing quality control technique with all members participating. What will be your correct answer for question number 15? Quality circles, decision circles, talking circles, idea circle, or proceeding. See, the concept over here is of QC. The concept over here is of quality circle. Because under quality circle, what happens is people from different departments, they come and they meet. They come and they meet and they try to solve one particular problem. For example, you might see a person coming from purchase department. You might see a person coming from sales department, accounting department, inventory department, and so on and so forth. So everybody will come, like there can be 1 to 2 employees coming from these departments and they are meeting in a cafeteria. They are meeting in a cafeteria. In cafeteria, they are trying to solve a problem of the employee who is coming from inventory department. So this basically is a kind of a quality circle. Quality circles are promoted in the organization. Quality circles are promoted in the organization to an extent, because if you know, quality circle is a kind of an informal communication only, but to an extent you should promote it as a manager. Okay, so your correct answer over here will be quality circle, idea circle, talking circle, discussion circles. These means nothing, they were just given to confuse you. So the correct answer will be option number E. Let's move forward to 16 now. 16 is also a phase 2 level question. Phase 2 level question on your screen right now. Let's see how many of you will get it correct. A centralized organization systemically works to concentrate authority at the upper levels. Okay. In decentralized concern, authority is retained by the lower level of management for taking major decisions. Decentralization is systematic delegation of authority at all the levels of management in the organization. Which of the following statement is an R? Correct. Which of the following statement is an R? Correct. Now, बताइए, what is your answer? I will wait for answers of Parul, Gopal, Lakshmi, Nandini. Please answer, then only we will move ahead. If you are not responding, then what's the point of having marathon? बताइए. What will be your answer? What will be your answer? Satvik is saying D. Gopal is saying 1 and 3 are correct. What about others? What about others? C. A centralized organization works at concentrated upper levels. Yes, this is very much correct, because in the central organization you have one person, one command, right? In decentralized, authority is retained only by the lower management. Authority is retained by the lower management. This is incorrect, right? Authority is still with the higher level. Authority is still with the higher level, but you delegate certain authority to the lower level. But it is not retained by the lower level, that too for making major decisions. So statement B is incorrect, because major decisions are still made by the top level, but in decentralization, you share some part with the lower level. Decentralization is a systematic delegation of authority, yes. So if you see, A is correct, or I would say I will use a different pen. If you see, 1 is correct, 2 is incorrect, 3 is correct. So answer will be 1 plus 3, and your correct answer will be option number D. Okay, your correct answer will be option number D. Good. Now I can see some students are giving the right answer. Good. Question number 17. Yes, Parul, Preeti, Gopal, and Satvik has given the right answers. Come on. Question number 17. Now this question is based on general management again. In India, income tax send a message to the taxpayers with a reminder that most people who pay tax on time avoid penalties. This type of measures is taking account of what concept in behavioral economics. Now, this is thoda sa, I would say, out of the context question, but still in management they can ask you anything. This is basically known as nudging. Nudging basically means a kind of a small push. A kind of a small push which you give to any other person so that they can do certain activities. Okay. So the correct answer of this question will be option number A. Okay. Moving forward to the next one. Right. Again, this is a phase 2 level question. Try to answer this question with all of your eyes open. Question number 18. Question number 18. Directing is performed at all the levels of management. Every manager is required to supervise, guide, and motivate all and lead. Moreover, it is a continuous process. If there is a work, there is a direction required. In the same regard, identify that principle of directing which explains that giving orders is not sufficient, but a management or managers should find out whether the subordinates are working accordingly, what difficulties they are facing, and if required, they should help the subordinates to get the work done. So what will be your answer? Unity of command, principle of follow through, principle of leadership, principle of comprehension, or principle of use of informal organization? Yes, very good. The correct answer will be principle of follow through, because follow through basically means to ask your employees that whether everything is going good or not. Simple. Unity of command means what? That one person will have only one boss. One person will only have one boss. That one boss will give you the answers. That one boss will give you all the orders. Okay. Principle of leadership basically is like you need to follow transformational leadership, not transactional. Principle of comprehension is like you don't call your employee every now and then, just summarize all the important points. And principle of the use of informal as in, to an extent, informal organization is good because you will promote social, like team feelings in your organization. So informal principle basically is like, to an extent, you should use informal organization in your company. Question number 19, again a phase 2 level question. Try to answer very peacefully. And today in marathon we are doing phase 1 and phase 2 level questions because in your exam phase 1 and phase 2 are happening on the same day. And yes, my friends, if you are interested to help EduTap in the analysis, please drop your mail on hello@edutap.co.in. Just say that I want to help EduTap in analysis. We will take your number and we will add you in our WhatsApp group so that we can get in touch with you, so that we can make the answer key and all this stuff. But this is not compulsory. If you are willing to do it, more than good. Otherwise, just ignore. Now coming to the question number 19. 19 says, Sham, Ram, David are working in the organization. Ram is the one taken the responsibility of attending all the industrial meetings for ceremonial presence. Ram is also involved in activities such as greeting visitors, attending social functions involving employees, making speeches and serving the committees. Now, even if you don't read the role of Sham and David, it's okay because the question is asking you regarding Ram only. So if you know Henry Mitzberg has given you 10 roles of managers which are divided into 3 categories. Okay. So the first and the foremost role played by Ram is of figurehead only. So your correct answer will be option number A. Figurehead basically means you become the face of the company. You become the face of the company. Like if PM Modi is going to some function of Reliance, then who will come to welcome him? Mr. Mukesh Ambani only. So if you see, Mr. Mukesh Ambani has become the face of Reliance. Okay. So the correct answer over here will be option number A. Leader is basically a kind of leading only, like you want to be transformational and not transactional. Spokesperson is basically telling the outside media that what is happening in the company. Okay. And then you have entrepreneur. Entrepreneur is basically taking all the risk and starting the new projects. But you should remember this particular image. This image is very, very important for you. Managerial roles, 3. Interpersonal, informational, and decisional. Interpersonal basically means between 2 people. Informational is related to information. And decisional is basically related to deciding between 2 variables or 2 attributes. So this was given by Harry Mintzberg. Okay. Very important person. And we have discussed that the answer will be option number A. Last question of the day of management. And yes, in management, we have also discussed multiple types of questions in the previous marathons for SEBI, for RBI. Videos are already available on YouTube. You can go and solve those questions as well. But these 20 questions which we have done today are good to check that whether you are prepared for the exam or not. When two people are involved in communication, we call it as a circuit. Oh, I think this question has been repeated. Apologies from my end. The answer was star communication, right? Right. Okay. So this question is repeated. I'm very sorry for this. Okay. So that completes our management. Now, can we start with the pension sector? If you all are okay, can we start with pension sector? Or do you want a 2-minute break? Please let me know in the chat box. If you are okay, can we start with pension sectors? Can we start with pension? Yes, it was repeated. Yes, Parul, I truly understand. Can we start with pension? Chaliye. So now we are starting with pension. Question number 1. Now in pension, only some selected topics are there. Atal Pension Yojana, National Pension System. You have your basics of investments. You have your portfolio management. You have your EPF and all the other stuff. So let's start by discussing it. Question is on your screen now. Which of the following is true regarding the NPS scheme? Which of the following is true regarding the NPS scheme? So you have to identify the true statement. Okay. You have to identify the true one. You have to identify the true one. Please let me know the answer of the question number 2. Bataiye, what will be the right answer for question number 2? Question number 2. Question number 2. Which of the following is true regarding the NPS scheme? Question number 2. A person can have multiple accounts under NPS. A person can have multiple accounts under NPS. No, because as a person, you can only have one account, right? A person cannot have a joint account under NPS. This statement is correct because you cannot have a joint account. If you two are different individuals, then you need to have two different accounts. Okay. Ombudsman scheme under NPS is a person appointed by EDI. No, EDI works for insurance. PFRDA is the one who will appoint the ombudsman. So now you have to identify the true one. So only one. Okay, I should say only 2 is correct because 1 and 3 were incorrect, right? So your correct answer will be option number B. Followed everybody? Yes, the correct answer will be option number B. Can somebody tell me in which particular year NPS was launched? Can somebody tell me in which particular year NPS was launched? Waiting for all of your responses. Question number 2. Question number 2. A person can have multiple accounts under NPS. Ombudsman under NPS is appointed by my question was related to NPS. Yes, it was launched in which particular year? 2004. Very good. Chaliye, now let's move forward to question number 2. Again, a phase 2 level question. Try to answer this correctly. Phase 2 level question. Yes, NPS 444. And in which year APY? In which year APY was launched? In which year APY was launched? Atal Pension Yojana. ये तो बेसिक स्टफ है, ये तो आपको आना ही चाहिए, right? NPS is 2004, but APY is 2000. 2015 APY, if I'm not wrong, Atal Pension Yojana is 2015. Okay. Now try to answer question number 2. बताइए. Question is Mr. Ram works in a organization where his pension is determined based on the last drawn salary, years of service. He does not have to manage investments and his employer guarantees a fixed monthly pension. So if anything is fixed, definitely that's a benefit plan. But on the other hand, Sham works in a private firm. Both he and his employees contribute to a fixed percentage of salary, but the retirement depends upon the market return. So if this is the case, then this is a contribution plan. Okay. So which type of pension does Mr. Ram have? Ram was the first fellow, right? And he was having the fixed monthly pension. So answer will be option number B. Under defined benefit plan, everything is fixed. You know that what will be your pension. Under defined contribution, like it depends upon the market return. If market returns are good, then your pension will be high. If not, then your pension will also fall. Let's move forward. Now, these all premium control, these doesn't means anything, right? So do not ask me to explain क्योंकि इसका मतलब ही नहीं होता है कुछ. These were just given to confuse you. So the correct answer is B. Okay. Now we are moving to third one. Come on, I need energy. Question number 3. Which of the following best describes active portfolio management? Now, this question has been taken from your portfolio management. बताइए, what will be the correct answer for third one? Which of the following best describes portfolio management? Tracking specific index with minimal trading. See, active basically means what? That you are superbly active to trade. Like you might have heard about intra-trade. Intra-trade means what? आज लिया आज ही बेच दिया. You bought today and you sold today. So that's intraday, right? Which of the following best describes active? So you have to be active. Tracking a specific index? No, because you are doing just minimal. So this cannot be your answer. Frequently analyzing and adjusting investment to outperform the market? Yes, this is the correct one. Okay, but let's see the other as well. Holding a fixed portfolio, avoiding high risk, investing solely in dividends paying stock. All these are basically passive. If I combine A, C, D and E, these are my passive. But the correct one for active is only option number B. Okay. And yes, if I just ask you something about investment also, because in your pension, they have mentioned basics of investment and portfolio management. So let me ask you one question. If market is giving me 12%, and my portfolio has generated 18%, so this extra 6% is known as what? Those who have attended my previous lectures, they might answer this correct, but I just want to check on all of you. Please let me know. If market is giving you 12%, but your portfolio has generated 18%, then this extra 6% is known as what? Please let me know in the same chat box. Please let me know your answers. This extra 6% is basically known as beta. Beta is like higher the better. Simple. So I was like, nobody has answered. So quite surprised, but not an issue. Question number 4. Capital gain. No, my friend. Capital gain basically means what? That you have purchased shares of Reliance at 10,000 after 1 year or anything above more than a year, you have sold these shares for 12,000. So this is your capital gain. 2,000 is your capital gain. But this you have to sold only after 1 year. Okay. बताइए, what will be the next answer? Question number 4. Now, The question is asking you regarding value investing. Now, many students were asking, sir, we have done the questions on NPS in your revision series. We have done the questions of APY in your revision series, but we have not done the questions of basics of investment and portfolio management. So today we will be doing questions of basics of investments also, and we will be doing questions of portfolio management also. But right now, please answer this question. Why nobody is answering this? Am I the only one who is attending this marathon? No, right? So please answer. Which of the following best describes mutual fund that focus on value investing? Value investing is basically those companies which are currently looking small, but they can grow big in later. So your correct answer, let's try to read it. Investing in the stocks that are currently undervalued and have strong fundamentals for growth. Yes, this is the correct answer, because in value investing, you try to pick those companies who are currently less valued. Buying only high growth stocks with premium valuation, no. Frequently trading, no. Allocating funds to companies, no. Investing primarily, these are basic sense question. Even if you don't know what is value investing, still you can answer it. Chaliye, question number 5. Question number 5. Question number 5. Dash is a project to channelize the skills, experience, and time available with central government pensioners into a meaningful social intervention. It also facilitates the organization working in these areas to select the appropriate skill, expertise from the available pool of volunteers, pensioners. Chalo, so answer over here will be Samadhan, Tejas, Sankalp, Bhavishya, or none of the above. This question we have also done in our revision series. If you have attended our revision series, then you could have answered this very easily. Yes, this portal is basically known as Sankalp. Sankalp is basically that particular portal in which the pensioners who want to contribute towards any social project, they can do so by sharing their ideas. So the correct answer over here will be Sankalp. Okay. Next question. Dash is often used. Dash is often referred to any retirement plan that combines some elements of traditional defined benefit pension plan, some of defined contribution plan also with retirement savings account to which the employee and employer contribute money. Please answer this particular question कि अगर आपके प्लान के अंदर डिफाइंड कंट्रीब्यूशन के भी फीचर्स है, डिफाइंड बेनिफिट के भी फीचर्स है, then definitely it is known as hybrid. Hybrid basically is a kind of a mixture of two. Is a mixture of two. So definitely your answer over here will be hybrid only, which is your option number A. Question number 6 is also done. Now we are moving ahead to question number 7. Yes, try to answer this question based on EPF Act. The Employees Provident Fund Miscellaneous Provision Act of 1952 is applicable to every establishment in which a factory is engaged or in any industry, in schedule and in which dash more than employed. So please answer. Now, EPF Act of 1952 is applicable to all those factories which are engaged in industry specific in Schedule 1. Schedule 1 is like Act ka Schedule 1. Which and to some other companies which have more than 20 employees or more. So if any company who is having more than 20 employees, they will be coming under the domain of EPF Act. So your answer will be option number C. Very easy. Still I am not able to. Yes, now I can see some answers. Gopal, very good. You are doing good. Question number 8. Again, I would say a phase 2 level question. Very good, Parul as well. Come on, please answer question number 8 now. Question number 8 says what? Which of the following regarding the withdrawal from the EPF is true? EPF, PPF, NPS, all are the important things for you related to pension. So even if you don't know the tough one, but still remember the basic stuff. Like this question is very basic in front of you. Even if you don't know the answer, you can still try to make a good guess. EPF corpus is tax-free. Yes, it is tax-free. Okay. If early withdrawal is done without completing 5 years, then money would be taxed. Yes. See, if you want to keep your money for more than 5 years, then only it is tax-free. Anything below less than 5 years is not tax-free. So this is also correct. 5 years of service must be done in the continuation of one company only. This is incorrect because you can switch your companies as well, right? So this doesn't make any sense, that option number 3. or the statement number 3 should be correct. So your answer should be 1 plus 2 only, because they are asking you the correct one. So your answer will be option number D. Let me see how many of you have given D. Yes, good. Very good, those who have given D. Now let's move to the ninth one. Now this is the phase 1 question. Which ministry is responsible for overseeing universal account number and the employees provident fund organization? Which ministry is responsible for overseeing universal account number and employees provident fund organization? Please also let me know. Please let me know question number 2. Question number. Please let me know the answer of question number 2. Which ministry? Like, can you also please let me know what is the yuan length? What is the length of yuan? Yuan is a 12-digit number, right? So do remember it. Yes, definitely Ministry of Labor and Employment is responsible for issuing you the yuan. So your answer will be option number B. Right, very easy. Question number 10 now. Come on, last 10 questions of pension. Then Kritika ma'am will come and she will take over your economics. I can see 10th. Now this is also a phase 2 level question. Make sure that you answer this question correct. Phase 2 में एक भी question गलत हुआ, definitely you are hitting yourself on your head now. Phase 2 level question, please answer this correctly. Yuan 12 digit, very good Satvik, very good Parul, very good Gopal. Question number 12. Question number 10, sorry. Ram and Sham are planning for their retirement. Ram is 30 years old, Sham is 35 years old. They want to enroll in Atal Pension Yojana of 2015, which provides a minimum guarantee pension of 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K and 5K per month at the age of 60 years. The pension amount depends upon two key factors, which is amount of contribution and the age at which they are starting. Tell me which of the following is correct. Both Ram and Sham can choose for any pension based on their contributions. Only Ram can apply for APY and Sham is above the age limit. Okay, the pension amount is fixed for 5,000. APY provides pension only if government contributes half of the subscribers. बताइए, what will be the correct answer? See, C ko to सीधा we can remove, because in APY you have 5 pension options, 1K, 2K, 3K, 4K and 5K, right? So C is obviously eliminated. Only Ram can apply for APY, Sham cannot apply. What's the age of Sham? 35. Anybody who is falling in the category of 18 to 40 can apply. So B be eliminate ho gaya. Now I try to check A and D. APY providers provide a pension only if government contributes on the behalf of subscribers. No, right? Government can contribute 50%, but not all. So the correct answer will be option number A. The correct answer will be option number A. How many of you have got A, by the way? Satvik, Parul, Gopal and Preeti. Yes, very good. The correct answer will be option number A. Moving ahead to question number 11. Now this is very basic question. This can be asked in your phase 1 as well. Ram is 20-year-old, Sham is 50-year-old. Both want to enroll in Atal Pension, government-backed pension scheme. Based on the eligibility, can Sham apply? No. Sham is above 40. He is currently 50 years old. So Sham, sorry, you cannot apply. But Ram, yes, you can apply because you are 18 years old. Can somebody tell me, if Sham is 40, let's assume Sham is trying to get himself enrolled in Atal Pension Yojana. What is the minimum number of years he will have to contribute so that his pension can start? Definitely the answer will be 20, because at 60 only the pension will start, right? So the correct answer over here will be only Ram is eligible for APY. So correct answer will be option number B. Okay. Moving forward. Question number 12 now. Question number 12. Gratuity. Gratuity. Gratuity is paid to the member or a worker where the member or a group are entitled to gratuity from their corporation recognition to the value added by the member or a worker in corporation of the form of wages. Employer, member or worker must be completing dash year of service irrespective of whether employee resigns, dies or terminated or retires. Employee, if you are currently continuing service for 5 years in any of the companies, then definitely you are allowed to get the gratuity. So your correct answer will be option number 5. Okay, and please remember that employee does not give anything, only employer gives. Only employers give gratuity. Okay, now do not go into the calculation because that is very tedious. Moving forward to question number 13. Now I will take some questions from basics of investment because many students were asking that please do some questions of basics of investments. So let's do some questions of basics for investments also. So the question is right now on your screen. Question number 20. 13, sorry. You can use dash to roughly estimate how many years a given sum of money will be compounded annually at the interest rate in order to double. So whenever you have to double, follow the rule of 72. 114 for 3x, triple 144, which is double of 44 for 4x. So the answer will be option number A. Now this is your phase 1 level of question. Okay. Let's move forward to 14th. Question 14. Question 14 says what? Dash is a market through which buyers and sellers trade gold, silver, as well as associated derivatives. Is it shine market? Is it metal market, jewelry market, bullion market? So speed badai. Okay, surely I will increase. Dash is a market through which buyer and seller trade gold, silver, as well as associated derivatives. Again, this is question taken from your basics of investment. If you don't know this, then definitely basics of investment is not basic anymore. Shine market, metal market, jewelry market, bullion market. The correct answer will be bullion market. In your bullion market, you can trade your gold and silver plus the associated products of gold and silver. So your correct answer will be bullion market. Okay, option number D. Now try to answer question number 15. Question number 15 says what? There are many participants in the future market. In the same regard, identify the parties of the stock exchange who bets on the derivative market based on their views. He is not actually interested in buying and selling, but carries out the trade in anticipation of making profit. Again, basics of investment, the first line which you read is the types of parties which are present in the stock market. So you have your arbitrators, you have your hedgers, and you have your speculators. Hedgers are those who want to play safe, they want to avoid any kind of risk. Arbitrators are those people who will buy in one market and sell in another market. Speculators are those people who will chase risk. For them, risk is like ishq. So now they are anticipating in making profit, speculators, because speculators are like higher the risk, higher will be the profit, but they also can have higher losses as well. Okay, so the correct answer will be option number E. Let's move forward to 16. Now, this is a phase 2 level question. Okay, this is a phase 2. This will not be asked in phase 1. But in phase 2, if they want to increase the difficulty, they can ask you what is the minimum value for which a certificate of deposit can be issued. Now, this is taken from your money market. Money market, which is a component of your finance also, and it is somewhere in your basics of investment also. So, minimum value for certificate of deposit will be 5 lakh. Okay, certificate of deposit and your commercial paper has a minimum deposit of rupees 5 lakh. Question number 17 now. Question number 17. Who among the following bear the risk of selling the stock on the issue of IPO? Again, taken from basics of investment only. Okay, remember we have done the question of APY, NPS, types of retirement schemes on our previous classes as well. Today also we have done few, but today my major focus is on basics of investment of the last questions. Okay, at least. Who among the following bears the entire risk of selling? What will be your answer? 17C? Yes, underwriters. Underwriters are basically those people who want to assume risk so that IPO can be successful. Very good. Let's move forward to the next question, question number 18. Now, this has been taken from your mutual fund only. A scheme which or a fund which replicates the portfolio, such as BSC, Nifty, these schemes invest in securities who are the same weightage as the weightage in the index. This is basically known as your index fund. Index fund basically replicates an index. Okay. So your answer over here will be option number C. Now let's move forward to question number 19. Question number 19 says what? Which type of question number 19? Question number 19. Please answer question number 19. Question number 19. Yes. Which type of risk arises when the possibility of a major bank falling result losses into counterparties, reverberating into multiple banking crisis? Market risk is not your answer. Market risk is basically known as price risk. When the commodity prices collapse, it's known as market risk. Legal risk is basically based on the law of the land. You are not following any law, that definitely government will penalize you. Systemic risk is like if one big institution falls, then other small institutions will also be falling in the impact of that big institution. Liquidity risk, you do not have the money to manage your operations. So the correct answer will be option number C, because it is clearly written that you will go into a banking crisis. Okay. Last but not the least is your question number 20, which is based on one of the portals of Government of India, Jeevan Praman. Jeevan Praman is the biometric enabled digital service for pensioners, aims at providing digital certificates for pensioners. Which category of pensioners can avail benefits from this portal? Jeevan Pranam will work for central government employees, state government employees, and for other government organizations as well. So your correct answer will be option number D. Okay, it's like a kind of an e-governance kind of thing, wherein you will see many people will be getting certificates who are eligible to receive pension. Now that's it for pension. We have done all the different topics in your revision series also, and in your, I would say, marathons also, right? So now if we move ahead, now I will like to call Kritika ma'am. She will take your economics component forward. So ma'am, please come to the stage and take the session forward. All the very best, students. Bye.
Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to the session, and I hope you have done the other subjects very well. So now we are going to start with economics. Okay, so let me show you first question. Just a second. So let me bring the first question for you for economics. So this is the first question. Try to answer this question. So in economics, I have a mix of the very tough questions, moderate questions, and easy questions. Very tough questions, the tough questions will be less in your examination, but just to revise your multiple concepts, I have brought the tough questions also that will help you revise the topics. Okay, so try to answer this question. So first question is regarding if the slope of downward sloping demand curve is 2. So here the slope is given, that is 2. The intercept is 30. So what is the, first of all, what is the equation for the demand curve? So demand is equal to intercept, that is 30, minus 2, that is the slope, multiplied by the price of x. Okay, so demand of x is this is the equation. Okay, वैसे बहुत ही, this is a very easy question. So 30 minus, like price of x was 5. So when the price of x was 5, so price of x was 5, so that is 30 minus 10, so that is 20. Demand of x is 20. So either the option can be D or the option can be E, right? Now this is the when the price is 5, the demand of x is 20. Now let's say that the price has increased to 7. Now if the price has increased to 7 from 5 to 7, okay, so now the same equation, demand of x is equal to 30 minus 2, the price has increased to 7, so 7 to the 14, so 30 minus 14 is 16. So that means demand was 20 before, now it has decreased to 16. So the answer here is E. Okay, the answer here is E. Actually, just basic equation you need to know that for the demand curve, the equation is intercept, and the slope is in negative because demand curve is downward sloping. So the slope of demand curve is negative. Okay, so that is negative slope, that is your negative slope, that is your 2, negative 2, and the price of x. Okay, so demand depends upon price. So here the answer was D, that was 20 was the demand before, 20 was the demand before, that has decreased to 16. Okay, so out of these two options, the D was the right answer. So answer is D. Okay, the demand decreased from 20 to 16. Now coming to the next question. So which of the following statement is incorrect that you have to answer? Okay, so incorrect statement you have to tell. So here the products that complement each other, they show a positive cross elasticity of demand or negative cross elasticity of demand. So the first statement is correct actually, that the products that are complementary to each other, they have a negative cross elasticity of demand, and the products that are substitutes, they actually have positive cross elasticity of demand. Okay, unrelated goods, they have zero cross elasticity of demand, because the unrelated goods, let's say this pen and the petrol, they are not related at all. They are not related with each other. They are not substitutes. The pen and petrol, they are not substitutes. They are also not complementary goods. Okay, so unrelated goods, they have zero cross elasticity of demand. This is also correct. Necessary goods, they have positive income elasticity of demand, that is less than unity. That is correct. And the luxury goods, they also have positive income elasticity of demand. That means when the income is increasing, the demand for luxury good also increases. Okay, so that is correct. The positive the income elasticity of demand is positive for luxury goods. Now come to the E option and see the inferior goods, they have negative. So inferior goods, they actually have negative income elasticity of demand. So the E statement was incorrect. Okay, the E statement was incorrect. So here you can understand that positive goods, they have positive substitute goods, they have positive cross elasticity of demand. The substitute goods, let's say Pepsi and Coke, they have positive cross elasticity of demand. Remember this. Okay, the complementary goods that are complementary to each other, that is car and petrol, the car will not run without petrol, so they have negative cross elasticity of demand. The unrelated goods like the pen and petrol, they are not related to each other, so they have zero cross elasticity of demand. Income elasticity of demand, so luxury goods have positive income elasticity of demand, that is greater than 1. Basic or necessary goods have positive cross elasticity of demand, but it is income elasticity of demand is positive. The income elasticity of demand is positive for the basic or necessary goods, but the value is between 0 and 1. Okay, the inferior goods, they have negative income elasticity of demand. The inferior goods, let's say white bread in comparison to brown bread. So white bread is inferior good, so it has a negative income elasticity of demand. I hope this is clear. Any confusion here? So remember this, just keep this in mind, that the income elasticity of demand is positive for luxury and basic or necessity goods. For luxury goods, the income elasticity of demand is greater than 1. For the basic or necessity goods, the income elasticity of demand is in between 0 and 1. For inferior goods, the income elasticity of demand is negative. Okay, so now coming to the next question, try to answer this question. You need to know the price elasticity of demand formula to answer this question. So what is the formula? What is the formula for the price elasticity of demand? So find the price elasticity of demand. Anyone who is able to answer this question? So price elasticity of demand has the formula, the change in quantity demanded to quantity demanded multiplied by the original price to change in price. Okay, so what is the change in quantity demanded? The quantity demanded has increased from 120 to 150. That is the change that has happened is of 30. The original quantity demanded was 120. The original price is 10. The original price is 10, and the change in price, the change that has happened in price is of 2. So now you can easily calculate this. Okay, so that is 15 by 12, that is 1.25. This is the price elasticity of demand. This is the price elasticity of demand. That is, the answer is C here. The answer is C here. So the price elasticity of demand is 1.25. So price elasticity of demand has a negative sign that shows that there is inverse relationship between the quantity demanded and price. So price elasticity of demand formula is that with the percentage change in price, there is percentage change in quantity demanded. Okay, so if the percentage change is given, that okay, this is the percentage increase or decrease in price and quantity, so you can directly use that. That is, there is 10% increase in price, so this is the change in price. There is 20% decrease in quantity, so the price elasticity of demand will be 2. Okay, while if the percentage is not given and the numbers are given, then you have to use this formula, that is change in quantity demanded to original quantity multiplied by original price to change in price. Okay, Now coming to the next question, which of the following characteristic is correctly matched with the market? Okay, so there are different markets. There is monopoly market, perfect competition, there is oligopoly market and monopolistic market. So read the question and try to answer the question. I hope this is easy question and all of you will be able to answer this question now. So many sellers in the monopoly, there is only one seller, right? So this is incorrect for monopoly. There are many sellers and buyers, a homogeneous product, perfectly elastic demand curve. Perfectly elastic, that is horizontal demand curve. This is present in perfect competition. This is present in perfect competition, not in monopoly. Few sellers are there with king demand curve and strong mutual interdependence. This is present in oligopoly market. This is present in oligopoly market. Now, single seller inelastic downward sloping demand curve. So there is downward sloping demand curve, that is inelastic because there are less substitutes. So that is monopoly. That is in the monopoly market. Many sellers and buyers, differentiated products are there, elastic downward sloping demand curve. So that is in monopolistic. So yes, very good. Preeti, correct answer. The answer is D here. The D is the correctly matched market with the characteristics. Okay. So very good, Preeti. The answer is D here. Good, Gopal. Correct. The answer is D here. Many sellers are there. Many buyers are there. Differentiated product, elastic downward sloping demand curve is present in the monopolistic market. So here the D is the answer and there are different characteristics of the different markets. Okay. In the perfect competition, large number of firms, homogeneous product is there. Monopolistic competition, large number of firms, large sellers, differentiated products that are close substitute. Okay. Now coming to the next question. So try to answer the question, try to tell me that which of the following statement is or are correct, that you have to tell me. Okay. So as the degree of product differentiation increases, so as there is more product differentiation that is happening. So usually in the monopolistic market, if there is the monopolistic market, there are large number of firms, that are competing with each other, like in the soap industry. There is Lux, Santoor, Dettol, so and so. So in the monopolistic, there are large number of firms that are competing with each other. So the firms have elastic demand curve. Okay, the firms have elastic demand curve. Now, as the product differentiation is increasing, now this a particular firm, let's say Lux, they are developing a new kind of soap or a new kind of material they are developing. So they have more product differentiation. So if they have more product differentiation, their demand curve will become inelastic because then their demand curve will they have more product differentiation, so their demand is inelastic. That means the consumers that are using their product, as their product is unique, so whenever there is the unique product, whenever there is the less substitutes, because the Lux now has less substitutes as they have uniqueness, as their product is unique, so their demand will become less elastic. Okay, so or we can say more inelastic. So the degree of product differentiation increases by a firm in a monopolistic competitive market. So their demand curve becomes more inelastic. Okay. Like in the monopoly has inelastic demand curve because there are no close substitutes. While the monopolistic has elastic demand curve because there are many substitutes, many close substitutes. Okay. So in the monopolistic market, as there is product differentiation that is increasing, as the Lux is preparing a new product that is very unique, so they are kind of taking, they are bringing themselves near to the monopoly because they have produced a new product that is very unique. So they are reaching towards the monopoly kind of situation in that new product. So as the degree of product differentiation increases, the demand curve becomes more inelastic. Okay. The king demand curve of oligopoly can explain the rigidity of the price, because the king demand curve shows that the prices are not very easy to change in the oligopoly market. Firms can earn only normal profits in the long run under perfect competition, so that is correct. In the monopolistic market and in the perfect competition, there can only be normal profits in the long run. So here the first statement and the third statement are correct, and that's why the answer here will be 1 and 3. Because the second statement is wrong. The second statement is wrong. The first and third statements are correct, that the firms can only earn normal profits in the long run under perfect competition. So this statement is correct for the perfect competition as well as for the monopolistic competition also. So first and third are correct, okay? So here the C is the right answer, and in the king demand curve that is present in the oligopoly, the price is rigid, the price is determined at the kinked point, okay? Now coming to the next question. So here you have to calculate the GNP at MP. So basically here the consumption method has to be used. So in the expenditure method, so here you have to use the expenditure method, okay? So there is the private final consumption expenditure plus the government final consumption expenditure plus the gross domestic capital formation plus the net exports, So so this will give you the GDP at MP. This will give you the GDP at MP. So private final consumption expenditure is 800 plus the government final consumption expenditure is 300. Now gross domestic capital formation. So here net domestic capital formation is given at 200. So gross is equal to net plus depreciation, right? So gross is equal to net plus depreciation. So net domestic capital formation is 200. The net domestic capital formation is 200 plus the depreciation is 100. So if we add 100, so gross domestic capital formation is 300. Now net import is given at 30. So net exports will be negative 30. So 800 plus 300 plus 300. So that will be 1370. Okay, minus 30. So that will be 1370. So GDP at MP. So the GDP at MP is 1370. So now we have to calculate the GNP at MP. So you have to go from domestic to national. So if you have to go from domestic to national, you have to add the net factor income from abroad. So net factor income to abroad is negative 10. So when to abroad is negative 10, so from abroad will be opposite, that is positive 10. So that will be plus 10. So here the answer will be 1380. Okay, so first you have to calculate the GDP at MP through the formula, and after that convert the GDP at MP to the GNP at MP just by converting the domestic to national by adding the net factor income from abroad. So this is the basic idea. Okay, so here the answer is C, that is your answer. So GDP at MP is equal to private final consumption expenditure plus government final consumption expenditure plus gross domestic capital formation. So if net domestic capital formation is given, just add the depreciation, okay, plus the net export. So net import is given, so opposite will be net. If net import is given, so its opposite is net export. So if net import is 30, net exports will be minus 30 or vice versa. Okay, so this is the idea. If you are adding all the expenditure that is here, so you are reaching to the GDP at MP, but you have to calculate the GNP at MP. So you have to convert this domestic into national by adding the net factor income from abroad, that is the opposite of net factor income to abroad. Okay, now coming to the next question. So the market value of all final goods and services produced in an economy in the domestic territory, including the net factor income from abroad and depreciation over a year, is called which of the following? So first of all, try to understand that here we are talking about market value. Market value means market price. So factor cost, they cannot be taken because we are directly talking about market value. So these two options have to be eliminated. Now we are including the net factor income from abroad. That means this is included in the national. The net factor income from abroad is included in the national value. So that means the domestic is not correct. Either it is NNP or GNP. Okay. So market price because it is market value. Net factor income from abroad, that's why it is the national value. Okay. And we are adding the depreciation, including net factor income from abroad as well as including depreciation. So if you are including depreciation, so it will be a gross value. So this is the right answer. Yes, very good, Preeti. E is the right answer. So GNP at MP includes the depreciation, it includes the net factor income from abroad, and it is taken at the market price. Okay. Now coming to the next question, that which of the following statements is incorrect in regards to the Keynesian theory? So if you know the Keynesian theory, these are some of the assumptions or the ideas under the Keynesian theory. Try to answer this. So now, which of the following statement is incorrect in regards to Keynesian theory? So investment depends upon marginal efficiency of capital and interest rate, absolutely correct. Consumption expenditure depends upon the disposable income. So from your disposable income, you can either consume or you can save the money. So yes, the consumption depends upon the disposable income. Effective demand is where the aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply, correct. Keynesian theory assumes wage price flexibility, wrong. The Keynesian theory assumes wage price stickiness or the rigidity in the wages and prices. So it was the classical theory that assumed the wage price flexibility. The Keynesian theory assumes the wage price rigidity. Okay. Government state intervention is required in the economy if economy faces problem. So yes, the Keynesians have said that the government or state intervention is required in the economy if the economy is facing the problem. Okay. So this is correct. The only incorrect statement is this D1. Okay, so there is the stickiness, as the Keynes has said that the wages and prices are sticky, especially the wages are very, very sticky. Okay, so this is the idea. Now coming to the next question, that if there is an increase in income from 1000 to 2000, the marginal propensity to import value is 0.15. So basically marginal propensity to import is 0.15. This shows that with the increase in income, there is increase in imports. Okay. This shows that with the increase in income, there is increase in imports. So now you have to tell that what is the increase in total value of imports. What is the increase in total value of imports? So you have the marginal propensity to import, that is 0.15. That shows that with the change in income, the increase in income. So increase in income is from 1000 to 2000. So increase in income is by 1000. So with the increase in income, what is the increase in imports? So can you calculate this increase in imports? Yes, directly just multiply 1000 with 0.15. So that will be 150. So that will be change in imports. Okay. So use the information provided in the question so that you can come to the answer. So here the answer is 150. Okay. So actually the import equation, the total imports, it is equal to the autonomous imports plus the marginal propensity to import multiplied by income. This is the equation for the import. Import also depend upon the income of our country. A marginal propensity to import shows that with the change in income, the imports are changing. So just use the formula, just use this and you will get to the answer. Correct, Preeti? The C is the right answer. Okay. So here the change in imports is by 150. Now coming to the next question, try to answer this question. So it is as per the classical theory assumptions. Okay. So which of the following is or are not the assumption under the classical theory of the output and employment? So perfect competition in labor market and product market. So this is assumed by the classical theory that there is perfect competition in labor and product market. Okay, that means there is homogeneous goods and such. Money is only used for transaction motive, correct. The classicals believe that money is only used as a medium of exchange, okay. So money is only used as a medium of exchange. So money is only used as for the transaction motive. Now savings and investment, as per the classical theory, the saving and investment equality is dependent upon the interest rate, not the income. So first and second statements are actually correct. The third one is wrong because the saving and investment equality depends upon the interest rate and not income. And so here the answer is 1 and 2. Here the answer is, you have to find which of the following is not the assumption. So here the answer will be 3 only. The 3 only, that is the third statement, is not the assumption of the classicals. The saving and investment equality, as per Keynes, it depends upon income, but as per classicals, the saving and investment equality depends upon the interest rate. So this is incorrect. So third is the incorrect statement. So here these are the assumptions that is given by classicals. There is full employment, there is no involuntary unemployment, there is the equality between the saving and investment is brought by the interest rate. So the third statement was incorrect, and that's why E was the answer. Now coming to the next question, which of the following statement is incorrect in regard to the consumption function of Keynes? That is this. So in regards to the consumption function of Keynes, which of the following statement is incorrect? That you have to tell me. So slope of consumption functions lies between 0 and 1. So if you know about the consumption function, here is the autonomous consumption that does not depend upon the level of income. So even if the level of income is 0, there is some autonomous consumption that is happening, okay? Now, the consumption function is equal to autonomous consumption plus B, that is the slope of consumption function, that is the marginal propensity to import multiplied by disposable income. So, consumption depends upon the disposable income, okay? So, here the slope is the MPC, marginal propensity to import, and the MPM, marginal propensity to consume. So, the slope of consumption function is marginal propensity to consume. So the slope lies between 0 and 1 because the MPC value lies between 0 and 1, correct. The APC, average propensity to consume, is greater than marginal propensity to consume. Yes, always APC will be greater than MPC. Induced consumption is shown by BYD, that is induced consumption means consumption that depends upon the income. So this is the consumption that depends upon the income. So this is shown by BYD, okay. Autonomous consumption is shown by A. So autonomous consumption is shown by A, that is the autonomous consumption, that is the consumption that does not depend upon the level of income. So this autonomous consumption is shown by A, okay. APC decreases as income increases. So this statement is wrong. So all the other statements are correct, only the last statement is wrong, and that's why E is the answer here, okay. So you have to find the incorrect statement. So APC falls as the income rises. So the last statement was incorrect, okay. So here you can see that APC is falling as income is rising. So the last statement was incorrect. Now coming to the next question, that if the Keynesian consumption function is C equal to 100 plus 0.5 disposable income, when the disposable income is this, what is the marginal propensity to consume and what is the average propensity to consume? Try to answer this question. This is a comparatively easy question. So as you know that in the consumption function, this is autonomous consumption, this is B, that is this is MPC. So MPC is 0.5, right? MPC is 0.5. Simple. Now what is APC? APC, average propensity to consume, is total consumption to total income. So total disposable income is given at 500. Now what is the total consumption? So just put the value of disposable income here. Disposable income is 500. So that is 250 plus 100, that is consumption is 350. Consumption is in total 350. So 350 divided by 500, that is your 0.7. So APC is 0.7, okay. MPC is 0.5. MPC is 0.5. So either the answer can be B or the answer can be D. And the APC is total consumption to total income. So that is 350 to 500, okay. And total consumption will be the consumption that you take out from the equation. Now this is the answer. So D is the answer, as MPC is 0.5 and the APC is 0.7. Now coming to the next question, that investment multiplier will be 1. Investment multiplier will be 1 if the marginal propensity to import is what? If the marginal propensity to import is what? Sorry, marginal propensity to consume is what? So the investment multiplier will be 1 if the MPC, so investment multiplier has the formula, that is investment multiplier is calculated by 1 upon 1 minus MPC, okay. So that is if the investment multiplier is 1, so what is the MPC, that you have to tell me. So MPC will be simple calculation. MPC, just put the first option, that is 0. So let's say MPC is 0, 1 upon 1 minus 0. So the 1 upon 1, that is 1. So yes, the investment multiplier will be 1 if the MPC is 0, okay. So you can remember that the investment multiplier or the multiplier will be 1 if the MPC is equal to 0, and if the MPC is equal to 1, then the investment multiplier will be equal to infinite, okay? Because the MPC being 0, MPC is actually in between 0 and 1. So Keynes said that the MPC will never be equal to 0 or will never be equal to 1. But if there is an exception that if MPC is equal to 0 or if MPC is equal to 1, so that are extreme cases. So MPC equal to 0 will lead to investment multiplier equal to 1, and MPC being 1 will lead to investment multiplier equal to infinite. So these are the limiting cases or the extreme cases, okay? Yes, Gopal. Correct. Now coming to the next question, what is the correct value of money supply if the money multiplier is 10 with high powered money? So basically the money multiplier shows that with the high powered money there is the increase or there is the money supply that is increasing by multiplier effect, okay? So if you have the money multiplier that is 10 multiplied by high powered money that is 1000, so you can take out the money supply. So what will be the money supply? So money supply is the multiple of high powered money. High powered money is the actual printed money that is issued by the RBI or the government. This is the actual money. This is the actual money. So high powered money is also known as the monetary base, the reserve money. Okay. So high powered money, this is the actual money. This is the actual money issued by the government, by the RBI. Money supply is the money that is multiplied by the banks. The banks are also creating the virtual money and such. So the money supply is the multiple of high powered money. So that is equal to 10,000, right? So this is the formula that money multiplier, the money supply is equal to money multiplier multiplied by high powered money. Okay. So here the answer is 10,000. And the money multiplier, it has the formula 1 plus K plus R. So this K shows the currency to deposit ratio and the R shows the reserve to deposit ratio. Okay. So if you are given the currency to deposit ratio or the reserves to deposit ratio, so this will be the formula of the money multiplier. So money multiplier is equal to 1 plus K, that is currency to deposit ratio, and K plus R, that is currency to deposit ratio and reserve to deposit ratio. Okay. And the money supply, it is inversely related to K and R. The money supply, it is inversely related to the K and R. That is, money supply will decrease if the currency to deposit ratio or reserves to deposit ratio is increasing. Okay. Now coming to the next question, that is regarding the LM curve. So try to read the question and try to answer that which of the following statement is incorrect in regard to the LM curve. So let's see how many of you are able to answer this question. So first of all, see, the LM curve shows the combination of income and interest rate. So LM curve, this is the LM curve. It shows the combination of rate of interest and level of income where the money market is at equilibrium. So this is correct. Okay. LM curve is upward sloping, correct, as it shows the positive or direct relationship between income and rate of interest. So when the income is increasing, the equilibrium rate of interest in the money market is also increasing. So this shows the positive relationship between the income and rate of interest. Now LM curve is steeper. Remember this, that LM curve is always steeper when there is high income elasticity of demand for money and there is low interest elasticity of demand for money. So LM curve is steeper when there is higher income elasticity of demand for money and there is lower interest elasticity for demand for money. So this is the idea. Okay. So C is the incorrect statement because the LM curve is steeper when there is larger income elasticity of demand for money and lower interest elasticity of demand for money. Okay. The rest statements are correct, that if the demand for money is increasing with level of income, if the level of income is constant, let's say level of income is this and then the demand for money is increasing, so LM curve will shift leftwards. Okay. And increase in the supply for money, if the money supply is increasing, so LM curve will shift rightwards. So these are correct. Only the third statement was wrong, because the larger the income elasticity of demand and lower the interest elasticity of demand for money, the steeper the LM curve, and vice versa, the LM curve will be flatter when the income elasticity of demand will be smaller and interest elasticity of demand will be higher. Okay, so this is the basic idea that you have to keep in mind. Now coming to the next question, that which of the following statement is correct in the context of an expansionary fiscal policy? Expansionary fiscal policy means that the government expenditure is increasing or the taxes are reducing. So when the government expenditure is increasing or when the taxes are reducing. So here we have the rate of interest, here we have the level of income. In the ISLM model, this is the LM curve, this is the IS curve. Okay, the IS curve shows the goods market equilibrium and the LM curve shows the money market equilibrium. So let's say that the government expenditure is increasing. So here the IS curve will shift rightwards. And so there is the increase in the rate of interest and there is the increase in the level of income. The level of income is increasing, the rate of interest is also increasing. So here when there is expansionary fiscal policy or when the government expenditure is increasing, when the taxes are decreasing or any one of these things are happening, so IS curve will shift right. IS curve will shift right and there is the rate of interest and level of income both will increase. So here the D is the right answer, because if there is the expansionary fiscal policy, if the government is increasing its government expenditure, let's say, so the IS curve will shift rightwards and level of income and the rate of interest will both increase. Coming to the next question, that as per the adaptive expectation theory. So in the short run, it is considered, in the adaptive expectation theory, in the short run, it is considered that the Phillips curve is downward sloping, that shows the inverse relationship between the inflation rate and the unemployment rate. That means if the inflation rate is increasing, the unemployment rate is decreasing and vice versa. Okay, so in the short run, the adaptive expectation theory believes that there is inverse relationship between the inflation rate and unemployment rate. So the Phillips curve in short run shows the trade-off between the inflation rate and unemployment rate. But in the long run, any one of you know that in the long run, what is the shape of Phillips curve as per the adaptive expectation theory? So as per the adaptive expectation theory, in the long run, what is the shape of the Phillips curve? Here we have the inflation rate, here we have the unemployment rate. So in the long run, the adaptive expectation theory says that the Phillips curve is vertical. Okay, the Phillips curve is vertical. So this is the answer. So the Phillips curve is vertical in the long run, and in the short run, as per adaptive expectation theory, the Phillips curve is downward sloping. Now, as per the rational expectation theory, there is no short run Phillips curve. So as per adaptive expectation theory, the short run Phillips curve is downward sloping, long run Phillips curve is vertical. But as per rational expectation theory, there is no short run Phillips curve or no downward sloping Phillips curve. There is only vertical Phillips curve. Okay. Very good, Preeti. Now coming to the next question, consider the following statement regarding the balance of payment. So try to answer this. So see, transactions that are done to balance the surplus or deficit of the balance of payment, they are known as accommodating transactions. They are known as accommodating transactions. Okay, they are not autonomous transactions. Autonomous transactions, they are independent of whatever is happening with the balance of payment. Okay, so autonomous transactions are independent transactions, while the accommodating transactions, they are happening to balance the deficit or surplus in the balance of payment. Okay, so first statement is wrong because it is not autonomous, it is accommodating. Now transfer payments are a part of invisibles in the balance of payment. So this is correct. See, in the balance of payment, there is current account and capital account. Okay, in the current account, there is trade in goods, there is trade in services and transfer payment. In the capital account, there is the investment, there is the external borrowings and external assistance. So transfer payments, they are a part of current account and they are under the invisibles in the balance of payment. Foreign direct investment, this is a part of capital account. So this is also correct. In the capital account, there is the investment. So foreign direct investment is a part of capital account. So here the second and third are correct, and that's why the answer is B here, because you have to tell the correct statement now. So second and third both are correct. Okay, so capital account, it includes the direct investment. So the third statement was correct, that the capital account includes the foreign direct investment. And in the current account, you have trade in goods, that is also known as visible trade. It is also known as balance of trade. Okay. The trade in services and transfer payments, they are the invisible trade. So the transfer payments, they are a part of the invisibles. So the transfer payment, they are a part of invisibles. So second and third are correct, and that's why the B was the answer here. Okay. Now coming to the next question. So which of the following statement given below state, which of the following is incorrect? So which of the following statement is incorrect? So SLR is the share of NDTL that banks shall maintain in safe and so statutory liquidity ratio. This is a percentage. This is the percentage of the net demand and time liabilities. This is the percentage of the deposits, we can say, of the bank that the bank shall maintain in the safe and liquid assets, that is in the government securities, in the cash and gold. So this is correct. Repo rate is always less than the MSF, margin standing facility, by 25 basis points, that is by 0.25%. So that is correct. So standing deposit facility is less than the repo rate by 0.25%, and the repo rate is less than the MSF rate by 0.25%. So this is correct. Okay. So contractionary fiscal policy is usually followed in the times of inflation. So when there is inflation, that is happening when demand is very high. So to reduce the demand, there is the reduction in government expenditure. The government reduces its expenditure to reduce the demand, to reduce the prices when there is inflation that is coming. So C is the correct answer again. Grants given by the state, by the central government to the state government, this comes under the revenue expenditure of the government, not the capital expenditure. The interest liabilities are subtracted from the fiscal deficit to come to the primary deficit. Okay. So here the grants, they are a part of revenue expenditure. The grants are a part of revenue expenditure, and that's why the D was the incorrect statement. All the other statements are correct. Okay. Now coming to the next question, what is the minimum period for which a NBFC can accept the deposits? What is the minimum period for which a NBFC can accept the deposit? That is 12 months. 12 months is the minimum period for which the NBFC can accept the deposits. And as per the scale-based regulatory framework, the top 10 eligible NBFCs in terms of their asset size should always reside in which of the following layer? In the upper layer. Okay. So this is the idea that the minimum period for which a NBFC can accept the deposit is 12 months, and the maximum period for which the NBFC can accept the deposit is 60 months. Okay. And the top 10 eligible NBFCs in terms of their asset size should always reside in the upper layer. Okay. So this is the idea. So now just read about the NBFCs a little so that you have the idea that what the NBFCs are all about. And then the last question for you is, now why I have brought this question, because in SEBI, the SEBI examination in the phase 2, there was such a question. So I thought that this is a very important thing that you must know about. So which of the following is correct if there is an unfavorable shock? If there is an unfavorable shock, that means if the supply shock is coming, so the aggregate supply, so this is the aggregate supply, this is the aggregate demand. So if this is the price and this is the level of output. So if unfavorable supply shock is coming, so aggregate supply will shift leftwards. Okay. So the price level will start increasing and the output will decrease. The price level will start increasing, output will decrease. With the decreasing output, the employment will decrease and unemployment will rise. So what is happening here? That the Phillips curve will shift rightwards. So whenever aggregate supply curve is shifting leftwards with the unfavorable supply shock, the aggregate supply curve will shift leftwards. So the Phillips curve will shift rightwards. The Phillips curve will shift rightwards. Okay. Because what is happening, that the prices are increasing, the inflation rate, the prices are increasing and the unemployment is also increasing. Prices are increasing and the unemployment is also increasing. So remember this, whenever there is an unfavorable supply shock, the supply curve shift leftwards and the Phillips curve shift rightwards. They show the same thing. The aggregate supply curve is showing that the prices are increasing, output is decreasing. With decreasing output, unemployment is increasing. The Phillips curve shows the same thing, that the prices are increasing. Okay, with the rightward shift in Phillips curve, the prices are increasing and unemployment is also increasing. Prices are increasing, unemployment is also increasing. Okay, so now we will start with the statistics, and for the statistics, let me invite Prahlad sir, but before that, let me open the PPT. So I hope that you are able to understand everything. If there is any query, do ask your queries. Like if there is any question, you can ask in the comment section. Okay, and do revise a lot. Okay, do revise a lot and do like practice these questions. If you have not studied a particular concept, so you can leave the concept, because at this point of time, just revise the older concepts that you have covered. Okay, that's it. So now the last part that you have to cover in today's session is statistics. So let's start with the statistics. Okay, let me just open this up. Okay. Okay, so now your statistics will start. So Prahlad sir, kindly come.
Will it fine?
Good morning, students. In today's session, we will discuss few important questions, and I have fine.
Yes.
Okay. We will discuss about the very important topics which you should cover in these few days. Fine. First of all, our question is about regression and correlation. First question is about regression and correlation. So, fine. Answer this question. The coefficient of regression is mu x on y and mu y on x. These are equivalent to the regression coefficient y on x and regression coefficient x on y. Now, how you have to calculate coefficient of correlation? What is the formula of coefficient of correlation? When you know the coefficient of regression x on y and y on x, what will be the answer? So, correlation coefficient is equivalent to bx on y, that is coefficient of regression of x on y, into by on x. This should be your answer. And there will be positive and negative sign. Remember, whenever these are negative, your regression coefficient is negative, your correlation coefficient will be negative. If your coefficient is positive, then your correlation coefficient will be positive. The answer will be B. For this, answer will be B. Fine. This is the basic formula. Coefficient correlation कैसे निकालना है? We have to find out from regression, coefficient of regression, bx on y into by on x. Fine. Second, I have chosen this question because in binomial distribution, only one kind of question can be asked, and this is about probability distribution. This is about probability distribution, where we should apply binomial distribution when your answer is in yes or no. For example, head and tail. We have two outcomes, where you have two outcomes. Like you are tossing a coin, you have head and tail. Fine. And these are mutually exclusive. If head will be there, then no tail. these are mutually exclusive events. Now if you have a sample which have 10 tosses, आपने 10 बार टॉस किया, fine, what will be the probability distribution of that toss? उस टॉस की probability distribution क्या होगी? That will be given by binomial distribution, and binomial probability distribution function is like, for example, you are doing n and you have probability of head p and probability of p will be 1 minus p. So the probability distribution of binomial distribution will be equal to nc 0 p raised to power n 1 minus p 0. So what is C? C is combination. So probability distribution will be NC1 P n raised to power minus 1 into non-event. Non-event is 1 minus P raised to power 1. Similarly, it will go on, and in last you will be NCN P raised to power 0 1 minus P raised to power n. This is the probability distribution of your binomial distribution. Fine. Remember this. You can this formula can be directly asked. Fine. Now we have two hypotheses. One is null hypothesis. In null hypothesis, we have probability of having head is 0.04, and alternative hypothesis is probability is 0.6. Now if you have to reject null hypothesis, your alternative hypothesis should be selected. वो reject नहीं होनी चाहिए, should be selected. So you have to look for the p is equal to 0.6, and this is correct when there are 5 or more heads in 6 tosses. Total n is equal to 6. You have n equal to 6. n कितना है आपका? 6. And you have to look for, remember, you have to look for fx where x is greater than or equal to 5. If there are 5 or more heads in 6 tosses, you have 5 or more head, means it can be 5 or 6, any 5 or 6, it can be any 5 or 6. So for that you can calculate your probability distribution probability mass function. That will be 6c5. Here p is 0.6 and 1 minus p will be 0.4. So put these values. C6c5 into 0.6 raised to power 5 into 0.4 raised to power 1 plus C6c6 0.6 raised to power 6.4 raised to power 0. Now you have to solve this. 6c5 is 6 into 0.6 raised to power 5 into 0.4 raised to power 1 plus 6c6 is 1 into 0.6 raised to power 6. By solving this, you will have this term will be equal to 0.1866 plus 0.0466, which gives you 0.233, which is your answer. In binomial distribution, you have to open the binomial distribution. You will have different, the probability will depend on what you have to, in this question you have to accept the alternative hypothesis, and in alternative hypothesis p is 0.6. So 1 minus p will be 0.4. On the basis of this, you have to calculate your probability distribution, and that probability distribution will be when you open the probability distribution of binomial distribution, this distribution, that will be 6c5 into 0.6 raised to power 5. This is p raised to power 5 into 1 minus p raised to power 1. Because why we took 5 only? Because there are 5 or more heads in 6 toss. So n is 6, r is 5 or 6. So r is 5 or 6. Clear? Next. This is your where you have to find out the your variant. So according to government data, 24% of teenagers in India are under the age of 18, live in the household with income that are classified at a particular income level. A simple random experiment of 400 teenagers. So n is equal to 400 for you. Fine. In India, under the age of 18 years was selected for study and learning. If government data is correct, which of the following is best approximate the probability that at least 27% of the teenagers in the sample live in the household that are classified at a particular income level? Whenever you have to find out your data is given in percentages, that is proportion of your population live in kind of income households which have some kind of income. Criteria is not given. For such questions, you have to find out your probability distribution. And probability distribution for proportion, the formula is, for proportion you are given 24%, means probability distribution is 0.24. And this is population proportion, and you have to find out Z greater than, or your mean of in households having income more than X mean greater than 27%. So probability of that is 0.27. So your probability should be, Z should be greater than population mean, population proportion minus your population mean. This is sample mean, that is 0.27 divided by your standard deviation, of the sample. So standard deviation will be calculated by p into 1 minus p divided by n root. This will be your standard deviation. So standard deviation here, we have p equivalent to 0.24. So 1 minus p is equal to 0.76. Fine. This is given as sample mean is 0.27, p is given as 0.24, and n is equal to 400. We have to put all these values. in your formula. Like Z variant, we calculate our proportion variant, which is equivalent to, in this question, which will be equivalent to 0.27 minus 0.24 divided by root 0.24 into 0.76. This is p into 1 minus p divided by your total number of samples. N is equal to 400. This should be your answer, and this is, I think, no, this is fine. This should be your answer. This is A, B, C, and D. D is your answer. This is your answer. Fine. Next is, what percentage of score falls within 3 standard deviation? Within 3 standard deviation from the mean of the normal variate. Normal variate is Z, which is normally distributed with mean 0 and standard deviation 1. You have to learn this chart. This is very important. If you have probability distribution of 62.27, means Z lies between -1 and 1. If Z lies between -2, standard deviation away from this point, 1 this side, 1 this side, 1 this, 2 this side, 2 this side, standard deviation away from the 0 mean. So Z value between -2 and 2 will give you the probability distribution of 95.45. This one. Now, probability distribution of 99.73 will be given by Z lies between -3 and 3. Simply, you can say Z score is nothing. It is the standard deviation away from your mean. If you have one standard deviation away from the mean, then your probability distribution is like that 68.27% of your area or probability lie within your this data, within your standard deviation, one left side and one right side. So answer of this will be 99.7. For 95% Z value is, for 95% Z value, Z lies between 1.96, negative 1.96 to 1.96. For 67.8, it lies between 1. Fine. You have to learn this. Now, such type of questions were asked in SEBI research officer paper. SEBI's research officer paper. In such type of question where you have some mistake, like they have wrongly copied 50 instead of 40. Correct figure is 40. What you have to do? Remember, this is a very, very important question and you have to just correct few things. What you have to correct? You have to correct the total xi and total xi square. These two things will solve your question. Xi and sigma xi is summation of xi is total of all the values, and total of all the values is, if you have given mean is x bar into number of observation. Number of observation is 100. So this will be 40 into 100. This is 4000. So your sigma xi is 4000. This is before correction. After correction, sigma xi will be, listen carefully, after correction, sigma xi will be 4000 minus 50 plus 40. Because 50 is the wrongly copied and 40 is the correct. So sigma xi total will be your 3990. So this gives you new mean. New mean will be 3990. That is sigma xi over total number of observation. Total number of observation is 100. So new mean will be 39.9. New mean will be 39.9. So our options can be these two. Now standard deviation. How you will calculate the correct standard deviation? For correct standard deviation, you will use the formula. Wait a minute. We will use this formula. This one. The variance square is equal to 1 by n sigma xi square minus